Hi, I'm Brittany.
And I'm Beter.
And this is the
Brittany and Beter podcast.
Bitch.
Brr.
Hello.
Hello, hello, hello.
Welcome back.
Welcome to another episode of
the-
B&B Reviews.
Oh, I was going to say the Brittany and Beter podcast. Well,
So this one is a big one.
this one is a big one. Can I tell them why?
Yes.
We have a surprise.
Surprise, surprise, surprise.
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 We are doing a double album review.
Double album review.
So we tricked you guys. We did a bamboozle on you because we said we were just going to do Folklore and College Dropout.
But instead, we are going to be swapping 2 Taylor Swift and 2 Kanye albums each.
Yeah.
For the first ever Taylor Swift and Kanye crossover episode from the perspective of their fan bases.
I just feel like it's the right thing to do.
Yeah, exactly. We have to do it justice.
I mean, first of all, so I gave Peter Folklore and Evermore. They're sister albums. They have to go together.
And I gave the College Dropout and My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. College Dropout being Kanye's first album, which I feel like is where you should start anytime you go through the Kanye journey. And My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, which is not only what I believe to be his magnum opus, but also my personal favorite Kanye album.
Magnum opus.
Yeah, I believe so.
I don't even know what that means.
Like the peak of his artistic achievement.
Well, that's how I feel about Folklore and Evermore.
Nice.
Well, I mean, Tortured Poets Department did just come out.
Well, wait, so is Evermore your favorite Taylor Swift album?
Like, how dare you ask me that? But I guess so.
Yeah, right.
I don't know. It's like, how could she's got 12 albums now?
Yeah.
Oh no, wait, 11. Oh my god, I'm a fake fan. So like, how do you pick a favorite album? Do you
Yeah.
know what I mean? Every album is like a completely different body of work. So it's really hard to pick. But I think the ones that I listen to the most are
Right.
Folklore and Evermore.
Yeah, gotcha.
And they really got me when I needed them. So I guess they are my favorites.
Yeah,
like
gotcha.
I really resonated with them when they came out.
Wow.
Actually, I still like, if I am driving and listening to it, I can still be brought to tears because I like empathize with her and with the version of myself that related. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like it still
gotcha.
hits deep.
Yeah.
So
It's left a mark on you, I guess.
a golden tattoo, if you will.
Yeah,
I'm quoting Taylor Swift when I say that.
nice.
She says, "You left your mark on me, a golden tattoo." Anyway,
I wouldn't have picked up on that.
that's not from, nonetheless, we proceed.
All right, so
All right.
this is the running order of how we're going to do
Yes.
things. So we're going to do Folklore first, then we're going to go over to College Dropout,
Yeah.
and then we're going to go back to Evermore, and then we're going to finish on My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. So
right.
let's begin. All right, so with this. So this is my first Taylor Swift album. And before Yeah, I've never sat through a Taylor Swift album on my own accord before. Are you crazy?
Yes.
Well, I'll just say this. So I know we've discussed a lot about her in the past. And I've always been, I guess, on the fence about kind of what my views are towards Taylor Swift. And of course, like, my knowledge of her has definitely expanded since starting this journey.
Nice.
But I will say that up until this point, or at least up until we started this show. So I know I don't hate Taylor Swift. I definitely don't love her. But I've always looked at her through the lens of a Kanye fan.
Are you serious?
I always have. That's through up until this point, right?
Right.
So with what I know about her, especially, and what her place is within the whole Kanye lore, I've always just kind of found her to be kind of annoying. She's just kind of I just didn't really think anything of her. When I did think of her, I just thought of the most popular songs that were prevalent in my life.
This is why I gave you this album.
Yes, exactly. No, this is why I'm saying all this, right?
Yeah.
So, like, I would think of shit like Shake It Off and
Blank Space.
Yeah. I like Blank Space.
That's a good song.
I always like Blank Space.
Yeah.
But like Bad Blood even, and Kendrick's in that, and I still don't really fuck with it.
Oh.
But
Rude.
I just always just thought she was whatever, right? More than anything. And then when she does pop up, kind of annoying. And then we started this show, and then you gave me this album. And also, like, I just generally have I've gained so much more insight of kind of what makes her why she is what she is today, right? And I can appreciate that because, as far as who she is as a musician, I can see that there's a lot that goes into her craft. There's a lot that, you know, the way she kind of packages it all. And like, I think that like, I don't listen to it and then think this is like just sort of some industry machine. Like she's her own machine, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? I don't think she's like just a pop idol puppet.
And
you
she's
know what I mean?
not. She's so much more than that.
So that being said, so then you gave me this album, right? And I understand that like Taylor Swift has her own lore and that sort of thing. Folklore,
so much.
if you will.
If you will.
So yeah, so I listened to the album. This is my first proper introduction to her music.
Right.
So there were things I liked about it, and there were things I didn't like about it.
Okay. Tell me
What did you want to start with?
The things
wanted
that
to
you
ask,
liked first.
You wanted to start with the positive and end on to the negative?
Yes.
Okay. So, all right, cool. Well, off the cuff, this album is, when you think of Taylor Swift, it's not what you expect.
Yeah. That's why I gave it to you.
Yeah, 100%. And like, I think this was a good album to start me off with.
Me too.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that if you kind of gave me something else, then I don't know, it would have been completely different. But I like that this was kind of the introduction because I feel like I got to see her songwriting in full effect, if that makes sense.
It's so apart from obviously the Tortured Poets Department has just come out, right? Before that album, this was like so when I heard this album for the first time, Evermore hadn't come out, Midnight's nothing had come out. She hadn't done any re-releases, right? So it literally was her debut album.
Yeah. Feels like a lifetime ago.
Yeah, Fearless, Speak Now, Red, 1989, Reputation, and then bang, that Lover. Sorry, oh my God, I forgot Lover. And then Folklore. So when Folklore came out, we had already kind of gone through lockdown, lockdown, the 2020 lockdown. So it happened for everybody.
Everyone knows what that was about.
Yeah. And I remember I had gotten home from like a PT session and I was just about to have a shower and I was like on Instagram and she surprise dropped this album, something she had never done before. Yeah. And I had never heard Taylor Swift like this. Yeah. Never before. And I have been a Swiftie since I was 12.
I don't think I feel like the majority of the population, like a thing that I can appreciate about this album is that this sounds like an album that the Swifties would fucking love, if that makes sense. You know what I mean?
No idea.
Because even that I don't love all of it, like I can recognize that it is that to the Swifties. I know they love anything, but that she does.
That's so true.
But I can see that this is like, oh no, like this
was groundbreaking.
For the Swifties, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and it's funny you say that about a surprise album drop because it makes me think of, I remember in 2018 when Eminem did a surprise album drop, and at the time Eminem was like, he still is, but like especially like
he's not really dropping as much stuff lately. He's
dropping a new album soon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that'll be interesting when it drops. But anyway, like my love for Eminem was like way higher in high school. Like he's very much like a high school artist. But I still fuck with him to this day. But I remember when he surprise dropped an album, and it's funny because like I like remember where I was.
So do I.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's like groundbreaking. Yeah. It's like people will say, where were you when Folklore dropped? You know, I was in my bathroom. But like it was like 9:00 at night or something. And I was like, it was life changing. Yeah, gotcha. And then I remember listening to it the next day because I was at that's when I was working like a full-time office job. And I had to wait until like 5:30 or 6:00 to listen to it. And she always drops her albums at midnight in the States. So that's like 3 p.m. for us. So I had to wait a couple hours. And I remember walking to the bus stop crying because the first listen hit so hard. I wasn't like, oh my God, she's dropped an album. I was like listening to it like, I've never heard her poetry like this before. And it resonated with me at the time. Like a lot of what she was singing about, I was like, I feel this in my soul. And I remember like crying. Yeah. Oh, it was so good.
Nice. Well, now what I think about the album.
Oh yeah, sorry. I can't not take over when we're talking about Taylor Swift.
No. But I'm glad to know that because I definitely recognized that while I was listening to this because I was able, because I think as far as this album goes, like I was saying, like all the Swifties would have loved it, but I feel like this is not what the general population would think of when they think of Taylor Swift.
No, I agree.
I really appreciated that you kind of gave me this because I kind of got to see this different side of her. Yeah. In that sense. So like, yeah, as far as, I think it's impressive for a COVID album as well. Like, because I remember.
Because she did this pretty much by herself.
Yeah. I mean, she has all the money in the world.
Yeah, but money doesn't make good art.
No, that's true. That
Do you
is
know what I
true.
mean?
No, but she has all the resources.
She does have all the resources, but you'd be surprised at the setups that she had. She was doing the whole blanket over the head with the microphone.
Yeah.
She wasn't like, because yes, she has all the money in the world, but production stopped. Companies stopped shipping things. Companies seized employment. Like she couldn't just like buy whatever she wanted at the whim. Like she had to be creative with it.
Yeah, I understand. But that being said, like for a COVID album, it was done really well. Like it sounds very grand. It sounds very like
whimsical.
Yeah, very like it's almost like a fairy tale. Like
it is. I'm so glad that you got that.
Yeah, like I think it's really well executed. I think it's really well produced. I think it sounds nice.
And it flows. The whole album flows with the narrative.
I would say so. I've listened to it 4 times now.
Have you listened to it four times?
Yeah, I listened to it because we said we were going to do this ages back. So then like recently, you know what I mean? Like revamped it for this episode.
Yeah.
But like 2 times each though. 2 times each. So it's in there. And I remember I was saving songs. So I've saved songs.
Oh my God, please tell me which ones
in
you
comparison
saved.
to the last ones. In the last album. But
please, wait, before you do anything, can you tell me that you loved Cardigan?
Yeah. Did I love it?
What? The poetry in that is phenomenal.
I mean, I liked it. Did I love it?
That song makes me cry.
It's good.
Such a good song.
Yeah.
And the music video was so beautiful. Did you watch the music video for Cardigan? Yeah. Isn't it just like, doesn't it just like tear on your heartstrings? No? Oh my God. Are you heartless? Like, girl, what do you mean?
Well, yeah, like I can appreciate it. Like, so the album starts strong.
Yeah.
Like I think overall it's a nice listen, and I think like if for whatever reason, I feel like if you have a prejudice against Taylor Swift, I feel like this is the album to not remove it, but at least open your eyes, see what it's about. You know what I mean? Because I don't think at least for this album, I didn't think the songwriting was basic. I didn't think.
It's not.
No.
Complex.
I actually geniused this album as well. I felt like I had to at least.
Yeah.
I did one listen where I listened to it, but then I was like going through the lyrics.
To like fully understand it.
So yeah, I mean, I feel like I don't fully understand it if I'm completely honest.
You know, I still listen to this album and find new things to like.
Yeah,
I still listen to it and go, oh my God, like that line hits differently.
And that's what. So let me ask you this: does she write all her music? All of it? So like
all of it. Every song that she has. She may have had other co-writers, but she always, ever since she was a kid, always writes her own stuff.
See, and that's something that I respect.
Me too. That's something that I really cherish.
That's not even something I'd expect from like a singer. Like I expect that shit from like rappers and that. You know what I mean?
No, she's really.
Yeah, so she's a proper like singer-songwriter.
She's a proper songwriter,
and I respect that. I really respect that because I can see that so much goes into it.
It's such a personal album, and it really like opens up her fans and the world to how like it is so raw. What she's describing in these songs and like her emotions and feelings that she puts into it are so explicit about the mindset that she has and like the experiences that she's going through. Like so many artists. I love, and you know, this isn't dissing on any pop star, but like for a pop star to go that deep with her feelings and her craft, like it's beautiful. Like the work that she does and the care that she takes with the work that she does.
Yeah. Like I can see it's like really well thought out. Like I don't like listen to this album, just feel like it's something that was just kind of like farted out for the masses. And it's just like, oh, this will get streaming numbers. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of what a lot of mainstream music is, and that goes for rap as well. Like just albums, just that,
like that just commercial stuff that'll get.
You know what I mean? So I can appreciate that because this is such a. I mean, it still fucking did Taylor Swift numbers, but you know what I mean.
But
like
you know,
it's such a low key. This
is her least commercial album.
Yeah. Like I didn't actually recognize any of the songs.
I don't even know if songs on this album got played on the radio. Maybe Cardigan. Maybe.
Yeah, it's got 1.7 billion
because it's a fucking good song. But I don't think it got played on the radio. Like I don't think any of these songs were radio hits.
I mean, I didn't know any of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that
and it's my favorite album.
Yeah, like there's even, you know, songs from like Midnights that I recognize and that sort of thing. Exactly. So
there'd be a few from Midnights that you recognize because that was a really commercial
I feel like
success.
I can only name one.
Oh, I reckon I could play you someone you'd know.
Yeah, but anyway, well, so as far as like the actual craftsmanship of the album, I really fuck with. Like I really respect it. And surprisingly enough, you're joking.
Did your phone die?
My phone died, but I can remember off the cuff.
Okay.
Off the cuff, yes. So, out of 17 songs, I saved 12.
Wow.
Yeah, 12.
To listen to again.
To say these are songs that I like and appreciate.
Yeah.
Yes.
To listen to again.
Would I go out of my way to listen to them? I don't know if I can say that about any of them.
Really?
But the way I listen to music is like it's like OCD. Like I go through artist discographies at a time. So if for whatever reason I decided to do a Taylor Swift binge, which I might depending on how many of her albums that you give me, because I do like listening to things chronologically. So
and this is quite deep into her discography.
When I have, I hate that I'm saying this. If you give me,
oh my God, what happened?
Whoa!
I wonder if this is like a vibe.
I'm willing to.
Should we pause this?
I'm willing to go with it for now.
It might look really bad.
Check.
BRB.
Be that cat that's hanging in. So, right. So my top 3, Mirror Ball.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
That's
This Is Me Trying.
Oh yeah, classic.
And Epiphany.
Wow, not the ones that I would have thought.
Yeah, those are my favorite.
But you know what? I fuck with all of them. So there's no like judgment of me being like, really? You picked
those were
it's
the
just
one-
like, I'm surprised that other ones weren't picked.
Those were the ones where I felt like as songs, they were the best. I'm still looking at it.
Oh, sorry. Sorry. I want to look at them too.
I felt like as songs, they were the best. Like start to finish, like those are the ones I would enjoy the most.
Epiphany's really sad.
Yeah, it got me thinking about shit.
Yeah.
It got me thinking about shit.
I remember at first listen, that wasn't a song that I cared heaps about. And then I remember being in like, I don't know, because I had the record of it and I was really emo, maybe like 6 months later. And that song came on the record and I was sitting there like absorbing it. And I was like, holy, this is a heavy song.
Yeah, right.
It's like hard to listen to because it's so sad.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, it got me thinking about shit.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? But those were the ones I liked the most out of all of them. Like
I like that you liked Mirror Ball.
Yeah, that's actually
song.
my favorite. That's my favorite one.
A really good song.
Yeah, it's really good. Like I feel like that's the one with her best singing performance.
Really?
I felt that.
Oh,
I
that's
felt like
interesting.
the one where I listened to it and I was like, oh, like not that. Well, should I go into like what I didn't like about the album?
I don't want to hear it.
Of course you don't.
Yeah, all right. You know what? You can say it because I'm going to say what I didn't like about the Kanye album.
Yeah, exactly. So, look, overall, I mean, I'll tell you my feelings towards the album's positive. There's some things where it's like, you can combat me on this, right?
Oh, I will.
So on Genius, right? So I could gather like
Okay, but here's the thing. You can't trust Genius.
No, it's not even that. I'm just saying that like I can gather that like within the album, it's not even for the whole album, but within the album, there's like this storyline of like it's like a love triangle.
Okay.
Some.
Can I comment on that really quick?
Yeah. What? Yeah.
So
What?
there's two Swifties. There's two types of Swifties.
Yeah. Okay.
There's the Swifties that take everything for face value, and then there's the Swifties that actually know what's going on.
Okay.
The Swifties who take everything for face value, I'm not talking shit about them, but they literally can't read between the lines. And Taylor is always like, even at the Eras tour in Feb that I went to, it was so weird because she's always like, this is a fictional story. Everything on this album is fictional. I'm so happy. This is all fictional. It's a fictional love triangle. Girl, it's not fictional.
Yeah, right.
It's just not. And I know, I don't want to get too into it because it's like a whole political thing as well. Like people get really, really aggressive about it.
Right.
I know what's true.
Right.
And like the people who can comprehend basic English and, well, it's not basic English, but the people who can comprehend literary texts can read between the lines enough to know that this is something that she's experienced, because I know enough about her past relationships and to know about the people that she was with to link the things together.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
But let me ask
But
you, like,
she's so adamant on people thinking that it's fictional, because if they realize it's not, truths will come out about her that she doesn't want people to know for whatever reason.
and what's the deal with that?
So that's the thing. I don't really want to talk about it. Okay, I'm going to say it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of us that believe that Taylor Swift is queer.
Right.
And Betty and Cardigan.
Yeah, I actually want to hear about this. Like what?
It's about a girl that she was involved with for years.
Right.
And even in the Tortured Poets department, there's a song that is very, very obviously made for people to think it's about Kim Kardashian, but it's about the girl that she used to date.
Right.
And she spells it out because it's called Thank You, Amy. And in the lyrics, she says, I have changed your name in this song and all the clues to lead people to believe that it's about you.
Right.
But in the track title, the letters that are capitalized spell out Kim.
Yeah.
But if it was about Kim, she wouldn't have done that because she said, I removed all traces of clues. And also in the song, she says, your kid will sing a song that only you and I know is about you. Girl, Taylor Swift has not written any songs about Kim Kardashian apart from like, Look What You Made Me Do.
Right.
And do you know what I mean? And the song that people are singing, all the kids I work with kids. The song that all kids are obsessed with is Cruel Summer. And Cruel Summer is about the girl that she dated.
Right.
Because she says in it, she goes through the garden gate.
Right.
And Carly Kloss had a garden gate that Taylor Swift had so many paparazzi photos in front of every single day.
Yeah, right.
She says, I snuck in through the garden gate every night that summer just to seal my fate. And the whole song is about being with a girl.
Right.
She says, it's new, the shape of your body.
Right.
Girl, if like, look, there's a whole thing. This is a whole other podcast episode. I'm telling you right now.
I know there's Taylor Swift law. You know what I mean?
And this is like the biggest one. And people get so homophobic.
Yeah.
Because it just can't possibly be true that the biggest pop star in the world is queer. It just can't be, right? Bitch, it is. Or like so many people are queer and they just either, one, don't know it, two, cannot reconcile with the fact that they don't come out and they squash it and hide it, and three, people make other people not want to be queer. Like, why is it so hard to believe that this woman could be?
Well, playing devil's advocate, what about like the long history of men?
Yeah, so bisexuality. Pansexuality.
But also, what is stopping Taylor Swift? Like, as if people wouldn't be for it.
It's a good question. I don't know what is stopping Taylor Swift. I think she was very close to coming out when Lover came out. It's all rainbows. There is a video of Taylor Swift saying, she's talking, I'm trying to quote her exactly. She's talking about the Me music video, her song Me. And she's saying, I want there to be rainbows, gay pride, cats, all the things that make me me.
Right.
Why would a straight person have gay pride? A straight person doesn't have gay pride.
Right.
Everyone's thinking she's just a really good ally. She's got the song You Need to Calm Down. It's all about queerness. It's got the music video is full of queer people, drag queens, everything. But she's just an ally.
Yeah, right.
Like, girl, the whole tour, and like even at the Eras tour, I was talking about Reputation just then, but even at the Eras tour, the whole first entrance of Taylor Swift is lighting and colours of the lesbian flag.
Right.
And she is a mastermind. She says that she's a mastermind. Every little thing she does is planned. I'm telling you, nothing is by accident. Right. So every time she's worn a rainbow, she's worn a lot of rainbows, bro, let me tell you. Yeah. Every time she's done something, she knows what she's doing.
Right.
So when she has songs where she says, like, she says hiding in plain sight. She's got so many clues. I can give you so much evidence. Yeah. I just don't want to take it, like we're already at like 30 minutes. So I don't want to take up too much of this.
This is a big episode though, but this is like a first time in history.
This is going to be a big episode, but this isn't about Folklore.
Right.
But in Folklore,
but let me
Folklore
ask you this.
is the breakup album for her gay relationship with Carly Kloss.
Right.
Let me say it like that.
Okay, thank you. That's what I was asking.
Yeah.
But I'm glad I needed the long answer.
And it's just... I'm so passionate about it though. And
No. I'm not shutting it down. Like,
people are so close-minded and it's so annoying because it's like, take your prejudice out of it. You would see the facts and you would agree. Like there is so much proof.
Yeah.
I do believe what she has with Travis Kelce at the moment is real. I do think that.
Right.
But this doesn't erase what she had with Carly Kloss. And she had another girl before Carly Kloss. Right. She says in one of her songs that is so obviously about Carly Kloss, her song Maroon from Midnights, she's like listing all these things in the relationship. And she says, the mark that they saw on my collarbone and there is a photo of Taylor Swift with red lipstick on her neck.
Right.
And it's like she was on tour, this photo, like from like, I don't know, 10 years ago or whatever.
Right.
She's got this like lipstick smear on her neck.
Right.
And it's like, girl, I'm piecing the evidence together. You encourage us to do this.
Right.
It's really interesting how she doesn't. Okay, so I know why she didn't come out.
Yeah.
Because I think, my belief, and a lot of Swifties believe this, that when Lover came out, that's when she found out that Scooter Braun bought her masters.
Right.
And it changed her world, right? It crushed her.
Right.
Because it's her life's work. It crushed her. And I truly believe she was going to come out the night that she found out. Right. Because she was supposed to go on this gay parade.
Right.
Girl, what straight person's going in a gay parade? Come on, be fucking real. She was supposed to wear this custom rainbow dress. The designer has said Taylor Swift was supposed to wear this. It's this rainbow dress that she was going to wear on a float in New York City during Gay Pride. Yeah. And I really believe that she was going to come out. And that afternoon, she cancelled because she found out Scooter Braun. So like, that's crazy. Coming out as a confident person.
And then this would have been the first album since then.
Yeah. This album came out after that.
Okay, that's nice.
Doesn't that give you so much context?
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
Because do you know what my biggest prejudice against the album kind of was?
What?
Because and understand from my point of view, it's not me like, Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
But like listening to this and then I'm like hearing this fictional story.
But
you know what I mean?
Not
but like I'm meant to take it at face value of how it's presented to me, right?
And Genius is plugging it. This fictional love story, love triangle.
But I'm listening to it and then I'm like, why should I care? You know what I mean?
Okay.
But it's like, why should I care?
I mean, it's art. Why does anyone care about art? Because they can relate to it.
But it's like, but that's why I didn't.
This is what I'm saying though. It's not. It's so real.
Yeah.
And
no, but that's the thing. If I'm hearing a fictional story about fictional characters, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, not like for the type of music that I tend to listen to. Like, I'm not saying every music has to mean something or that sort of thing.
My phone's gonna die.
But like, it's just I'm listening to it and I'm like, why do I care about this? You know what I mean? But now I know why. You know what I mean?
There is so many. Okay, here's the thing, right? If you get one of these clues,
like actually, let me recontext this. Say even if it is I don't know. I didn't know about like the backstory of all this, right? But taking it at face value, if I'm hearing Taylor Swift and her going about her heartbreak, it's like, why does that matter to me personally? And I understand that's why I'm not the target audience. But when I listen to it, I'm like, okay, why should I care? You know what I mean?
But you could say that about anything.
I could, but then I'm generally given reasons. Like, so like, for example, like, I don't know. I just feel like it's very like, it's like if you're making music about issues, these aren't issues that matter to me. If that makes sense.
Bro, you've never been heartbroken and turned to music to comfort yourself and relate to? I don't believe that. I don't believe that.
But it's like, yeah, I don't know. It's just like, why should I care about fictional characters having a love triangle?
They're not fictional.
But that's why I was listening to it and being like, that's why.
Yeah, but
you know
I think it's also like a poor attitude to have when like looking at art, because you could literally say that about anything. I can be listening to Kanye's album being like, why do I care about this?
Yeah.
But like, you don't. You listen to it and go, oh, okay, this is this artist's lived experience.
But that's why when I'm listening to it and I'm like, oh, this is just a made up story.
So what about movies, bro? This is our whole industry.
Yeah, but that's like a story. Like, that's the thing. The story in of itself at face value was not something that was like, okay, this is something that's interesting. You know what I mean? But that's why I'm saying I don't know the law behind it.
I don't know. I'm not going to argue with you about this. Like, it's whatever you want. Like, if that's how you feel.
Yeah, but that's why I'm asked. That's why I was going to ask you. You answered the question before I even asked.
Yeah.
There. But that's why I'm asking. Why should I care?
Well, a lot of people who think it is just a fictional story would care about it because of the artistry, the craftsmanship, the talent herself. Like, she has a good singing voice.
But I didn't like listening to the actual story of the album, of this, whatever. It's like, it's not triggering any emotional response in me.
Oh, okay.
But that's what it. But for me to be like, oh wow, this is like a take on a classic thing that I've never heard before. You know what I mean? So if I'm gonna be presented a fictional story, then I'm going to rate it as I would a fictional story. But if it's real, then I'm like, oh, okay. So there's actually like things behind it that this is why it's like this and this is why like there's double euphemisms and cryptic messages behind it. But if it's just like, oh no, like that's what I'm saying. I'm telling you what my opinion on it was from face value. That's why I needed elaboration.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know what else to say to that though. Like,
yeah, but like that's the thing. Like that was a thing that I just didn't care for in the album. Like I don't care about this random subplot.
I mean, it only like is there for 3 songs.
It's there for 3 songs, but it seems very centralized.
It's literally for August, Cardigan, and Betty. They're the only songs that the fictional love story is for. Everything else she never gave context on if it was about that.
Yeah,
they're just songs that she's written about.
Yeah.
Well, I believe her life, but
yeah. But anyway,
what I was going to say before was when you look at each individual clue about Karlie Kloss and Taylor Swift, it seems like nothing. Like it seems like it's easy to brush off, but there are so many of them that when you add them up, like bro, I could write an essay about this. There is so much stuff. It's really hard to ignore and be like, no, it's about this man or it's fictional or it's whatever. Like it's too big of a thing to ignore.
Yeah.
So it's really interesting to me that people do ignore it and that people do brush it off.
Right.
You know? So yeah. Yeah. That's why you can't always trust genius because it's going to tell you
but that's
the face
also
value stuff.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, it's not meant to.
It's not meant to what?
Like I mean, to be fair, there was a lot that I didn't read every little thing of every little line. You know what I mean?
Of course, yeah.
But yeah, like as far as just like what the song was about, I was able to gather.
Yeah. Yeah, cool. Should we talk about Kanye?
All right, are we moving on then? I gave it a 7, by the way.
Oh, nice.
I gave it a 7.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, and I can see why it would be like a fucking 10.
Yeah. Yeah, for the right target audience.
You know,
yeah.
for the Swifties, I can exactly see like this seems like a good Taylor Swift album.
It's also a good album to show that a lot of her music isn't just about love. Like Mirrorball has nothing to do with romance. Do you know what I mean? And same with Epiphany. That's got nothing to like. There are a few songs.
Those were my favorite songs.
And August, or not August, sorry, Seven. Seven's not about romantic love. Although actually, sometimes I think it could be about. I think it is about Karlie Kloss, but not in a romantic way.
Right.
Anyway, that's a
Who
whole
is this
thing.
woman, by the way?
She's a supermodel.
Right.
She's a Victoria's Secret model.
Yeah,
well, she was, but she's very successful. You walk in the city. I was in the city the other week, and there's posters of her in the city. Still,
Right.
she's so successful.
Right.
Yeah, it's a whole thing.
Damn.
Yeah, you probably wouldn't recognize her, but I recognize her.
Yeah, good so.
All right, I'm gonna get my notes up.
All right. So now we're moving on to Kanye.
Yeah. Let me find my notes.
Yep.
Okay. So we're going to go into College Dropout by none other than Kanye West.
Kanye time.
Kanye.
Kanye.
All right. So where do I even begin?
Where do you begin as a Swiftie?
As a hardcore Swiftie. Especially, okay, because even before everything happened in 2009 or 2010.
2009, actually. Yeah.
I think it was 2009. I did not listen to Kanye West. I didn't know him until that incident.
Wow.
But I knew Taylor Swift. I was a big Swiftie already.
Wait. So you were a Swiftie at the time?
Yeah. And I just remember thinking, like, first of all, you look dumb wearing sunnies inside.
Yeah.
I didn't like his hairstyle.
Yeah.
And I thought he was mean. And I thought it was so sad. Like, anyway, we're not talking
but
about that.
time travel a little bit.
Time travel,
to
yeah.
2004.
Ooh.
Yeah, 4 years before that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
So obviously Kanye had, created his own success within his music and the industry that he was in. And I was not part of that music genre.
Yeah, fair enough.
Especially in 2004. I think I was 8. So I was not really listening to rap music.
Yeah.
So obviously, like, there are a few songs of Kanye that I know, but I've never listened to an album of his.
Yeah.
And then after everything happened in 2009 with Taylor Swift, girl, there ain't no way I'm listening to Kanye.
Yeah,
like,
fair.
even when they were kind of friends for a little bit,
Yeah.
I still didn't really listen to it. It just
Right.
wasn't the music that I would listen to.
Yeah, gotcha.
So I never really had a reason to.
What were the main songs that you knew? Just
Well,
off
the
reference?
first Kanye song, actually, I can tell you the exact first Kanye song that I knew of.
Which one?
And it was Gold Digger.
Yeah, of course.
Because every club.
Everyone, that's like the one song.
No, but every club
Yeah.
when I was 18 played Gold Digger. In fact,
Yeah,
I got so sick of it. I was like, man, I don't give a fuck if she a gold digger. Let her be a gold digger. I'm sick of hearing this song. Anyway, but then the next song that I heard that was Kanye, I didn't know it was Kanye, but I loved it. And I remember like Shazamming it. I was in the backseat of like I was with like a group of people who went to the beach like at the end of high school. So I was like 17 or 18. And I remember it came on and I Shazammed it, but like secretly because I didn't want anyone to know that I was like, I don't know this song. And I instantly loved it and it was All of the Lights.
Nice.
And I still love that song.
Nice,
but I think I love it because of Rihanna.
Yeah, but
So
we'll get to that.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that because that's in My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. We'll get to that. So then that was like the song the first song of Kanye's that I enjoyed. So that's like all I really knew of him.
Right.
Yeah, pretty much. Like that was like the most knowledge that I had about his work.
Right. Gotcha.
And I liked 1 out of the 2 songs that I knew.
Yeah, gotcha.
So that's not too bad. 50%. That's pretty good.
So yeah.
But
I'll take it.
obviously when everything happened again in 2016 with Kanye and Taylor, I hated him even more. Like to the point where there is no way you could have convinced me in 2016 to listen to a Kanye album. Like there's just no way.
Yeah.
And because I believed her from the moment she put out her Instagram post being like, he's lying. They've manipulated this phone call. I don't want to be part of this narrative. I believed her. Nobody else believed her. Kim started that whole campaign to hate against her. I was never part of it. I feel like I was like one of the only people. Well, I mean, there are other Swifties that would have stood by her side, but so many of her fans dropped off.
Really?
Yeah.
Which actually, you know what, I feel like kind of makes sense because I feel like, because I remember Taylor Swift was massive in 2016. Massive in 2016.
She was really like climbing the charts.
Yeah. Like that was my main point of reference with her, as I've said. But then I feel like, not that she went quiet because
she did go quiet.
Yeah.
She wasn't seen in public for over a year. And she did a whole thing like part of her now says like, I wish I hadn't locked myself away for so long because I will never get that time back. Because she did lock herself away. She went into hiding.
Right.
She did hide herself because of the backlash that happened for something she didn't even do. Anyway, that's a whole other thing.
That's a whole other thing.
But, after that, hated Kanye. Still don't really like him, but, my personal vendetta against him. But
here we are.
Honestly, and this is like hand on heart, I went into this album trying not to think of any of that.
Yeah.
I was like, we're going back to 2004.
None of it had happened yet. Taylor
Swift was like 16. She was actually, she was on her way to making her first album.
Right.
So none of it had happened. I tried to like go into that mindset. Yeah. And I was pleasantly surprised.
Nice.
Hurts me. Like, when I like tap back into that Swiftie brain, I'm like, you traitor. How could you? But we're doing this for the podcast, okay? I'm doing this for my creative greater good.
Nice.
So I've written some notes.
Nice.
I'm going to share with you my notes.
Okay, beautiful.
Actually, how funny. Oh, and I knew Bound 2.
Yeah.
And I liked that song.
Yeah.
I remember like everyone would make fun of the music video because like Kim was facing one way and her hair was blowing the other way. But I remember watching that music video being like, oh my God, that's so cute. Like they're so in love. She looks so good. Like, do you know what I mean? I thought, and I also liked the song.
Yeah.
I was like, what does he say? One good girl is worth 1,000 bad bitches or something. I was like, that is so true. Now I look back, I'm like, shut up. That's a dumb line. Anyway.
It's mathematics.
Kanye maths. Okay, so this is what I wrote.
Right.
I said, I found it surprisingly eloquent, especially for a first album. Sorry, I had to clear my throat.
No good.
That I found it surprisingly eloquent and like straight away he's got a distinct sound. Like straight away you can recognize his style, which I think is really cool because for a lot of artists, their first album is when they're still discovering themselves and still discovering the sound that they want to put out, you know? But I feel like for College Dropout, straight away, Kanye has a really strong, confident feel of like who he is as a person, but as a musician too, which I really respect. I think that's cool. Yeah, actually, I even wrote that. I said I respect that. There were a few songs that I liked. Look, overall, it's not an album that I will listen to.
Yeah.
Which
is fair. It's quite long.
We're not surprised either.
Exactly.
It's not really, I can't see myself being like, I'm going to go listen to College Dropout, you know? So here are some of the things that I said. So I said, so I wrote, it's like, when I was listening to it, because I like to listen to new music when I'm driving because there's no distractions.
Yeah.
If my phone goes off, I can't check it. Like I'm not busy doing other stuff. I'm literally just focused on the road and hearing what I'm hearing. Which I think is actually the best way for me to like digest new music because I'm trying to actually absorb what is being said and like the sound that is happening. And I wrote that it was like when I was listening to it, I found it really strange to kind of see his ethics and morals before his commercial success. So I was just like listening to it thinking, what would 2004 Kanye think of like even 2016 Kanye? Yeah. Like, I wonder if there would be like a shift
It's funny that you say that because it was even back then in 2016 that people were wishing for the old Kanye.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
That's so interesting.
It's funny because even on his 2016 album, he has a song called I Love Kanye, and it's about Kanye rapping about how everyone misses. I used to love Kanye, that one. Right. Chop up the song. That one.
I haven't heard the song, but I've heard of the song title.
But back then, even back in 2016, which is crazy to think, almost 8 years ago.
It's 8 years ago.
That's crazy.
That does not feel real.
It doesn't feel right.
And I also feel like all that stuff just happened.
Yeah, like 5 years ago.
What do you mean?
Like that was Harambe.
Oh my God. I was never on that bandwagon.
but that was the thing.
Yeah, it was.
That was the biggest thing that happened that year.
Yeah.
No, well, not, I don't know, probably other shit as well, but.
Yeah.
2016 was a time.
Trump was 2016.
Trump was 2016.
So I feel like that was bigger than Harambe.
I mean, you had like ISIS.
Oh shit, yeah. All right, back to the music. It's getting too scary and sad now. All right. So I said I'm really interested in how he had such strong opinions about like before fame and how he changed. Like obviously I don't know Kanye. I mean, I don't know him at all, but like I don't know him well. Like I don't know his kind of, I know the persona and I know like the public image and I know all the controversy. But who the person?
Who's the Percy? The Percy Jackson.
Who is the Percy? Stop, that was hilarious. Who is the Percy? And you said that so confidently.
He's the
Oh my God, that is so funny. I lost my train of thought. Who is the Percy?
But who is the Percy?
So I particularly was like looking at lyrics from Spaceship.
I love that song. That's my favorite one.
Is that your favorite?
On the album.
I can't wait to tell you my favorite.
Yeah.
So I love the beat on Get 'Em High.
Yeah.
Which I think is really cool because if I like the beat, I'm pretty much guaranteed to like the song.
Yeah, nice.
I don't know if I've said that before on a podcast. I think I have.
Yes, you have.
Well, at least I'm consistent.
Nice.
And I love the lyrics and I love the meaning and All Falls Down.
Yeah.
I don't know if I necessarily like the song.
Okay.
But I like the lyrics.
Yeah,
and I like the meaning behind it. But
before it was a song, it was a slam poetry verse.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
I actually really like that.
And there's like a recorded performance of him doing that song.
That's really cool. I really like that. Yeah. Oh, that gives me, I have a little bit more respect for that now. Like, I like that. I think slam poetry is like really cool.
It can be.
It can be. It can also be really cringe. But like, I don't think I have the balls to do slam poetry.
I couldn't. No,
I don't think I could do it because I think I'd be too scared of being cringe.
Yeah.
Which is so funny.
I feel like there'd be more bad than good, I feel.
Yeah. And it's funny that I'm so scared of being cringe because I was a kids party entertainer for a long time. But I was a cool one. Yeah. Like, I feel like I had...
As long as you owed it.
I had an aesthetic going on with my entertaining. I think I was a cool one. I don't think I was cringe. Although I have done some cringe. Anyway. That's
as you do.
I also read that I'm shocked at the fact that I don't hate it.
Yeah.
So, like, I've listened to music that I have hated. I feel like even you've given... not hated. I haven't actually hated anything that you've given me.
Nice.
But there is music that I have listened to and I'm like, oh, I hate this. But I actually did not hate College Dropout, which surprised me. And I actually found that when I listened to it, like the first run through, I was like, I didn't even hate that, which is surprising. And I didn't know his mum was an English professor. Yeah. But you know, it probably makes sense because if he's doing slam poetry, if he's writing lyrics, like you got to have some kind of background. And
he went to art school and all that. I don't know what the extensive like
what he was doing at art school
you know
and stuff.
What I mean? Yeah. But he went to like a pretty like acclaimed one as well.
Wow.
Yeah. Like since then they've put up things and they've taken them down.
That's sad. It's so sad. I feel like he could have had. Look, he's gonna have a legacy no matter what.
Yeah, exactly.
No matter what.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's sad because I feel like the legacy is tarnished.
It's
And that's such a shame.
That's kind of what I love about revisiting this album because it's like simpler times.
Yeah.
If that
it is
makes
simpler
sense.
times.
Yeah.
100%.
Like this is just when he was just trying to prove himself. He was, not looked at like a rapper. He was just the producer, stick to producing. Like
and
that
he
sort of
says
thing.
that in one of the songs.
Yeah.
Something like people didn't listen to him. But they would like use him as a producer.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And that's the crazy thing about this album. Not only is he rapping and did he rap and write everything, but he also produced everything.
That's so much work.
Yeah. And that's what he does for all of his albums. Now he'll like kind of take on a role where he'll like bring on multiple producers and he will direct them, that sort of thing.
Well, I mean, I hate to say it, but like so does Taylor Swift.
Yeah. I can imagine that.
Only really works with like one or two people.
Yeah,
and it's like Jack Antonoff.
She'd be very
and Aaron
instrumental.
Dessner. Yeah, like she's so involved. She does like. She doesn't have a team of people that she works with. Like she's got like 2 or 3 people. You know what I mean? I mean that is a team, but it's not like a whole room full of all these people putting in their 2 cents. Like
exactly.
And that's I think another reason why I really resonate with her music because it's her, and I know it's her. It's not like a group of people being like, "What product can we sell to the masses?" It's her pouring her heart out. Anyway,
I agree.
Sorry.
I completely agree. Let me ask you this before we kind of go any further.
I'm not finished on Kanye.
But I kind of want to ask.
Okay.
Oh, actually, no. You say what you have to say.
Oh, okay. I want to tell you my favorite song.
Nice. Okay, yeah. Start there.
I love the new workout plan. That is a song that I will listen to.
Yeah?
I will be at the gym listening to it. Yeah. To be fair, that's the only song I would take from this album.
Wow.
That I would save.
Okay, that's fair enough.
And also, it is because of my ethics a little bit.
Yeah,
like,
of
I'm not
course.
going to listen to Kanye.
Yeah, fair.
But that is the one song I will let myself listen to of his.
Yeah.
Apart from All of the Lights.
It's better than nothing.
It's better than nothing.
Yeah.
God. A month ago, I wasn't saying that.
That's what we did by us.
Yeah. So I actually do. I think it's like a fun song. I like the little prologue before it where the girls are talking about like and in the song when she's like, "Hi, I'm Annie Mae," or whatever her name is. And she's like, "I'm from Alabama." I love that. I think that's so funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it.
Beautiful. What did you think of the last track?
Oh, refresh my memory.
It's the really long one.
The talking one where he's talking?
Yeah.
Okay. So I only listened to that one like twice.
Right.
And the first time I was like, what the fuck is this? Like, wrap it up, Kanye. Like, I was driving too. So I'm like, man, I don't want to be listening to this. Like, get to the music.
Yeah.
And then I was like, all right. Once I got past that stage of like, impatience.
Yeah.
And I was actually tuning into what he was saying. I thought it was really like meaningful.
Yeah.
Like it was surprisingly like poignant.
Yeah.
You know? And when I listened to it the second time, I kind of knew what I was in for.
Yeah.
And I knew how long it was going to go for. So I wasn't as like, oh, hurry it up. Like, come on, you know? So I think it's a nice way to finish an album.
Yeah.
Because it does feel personal.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it reads like an end credits sort of thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Which I really like about it.
Yeah,
like,
that's cool.
There's a few other artists that do that, but I don't think any of them have even done it as well as when it happened then. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do have to say, I don't like all those little clips in between everything.
But I always skip them.
Yeah, but I didn't skip them. I didn't skip them. And I was like, all right, this is good.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to hear this, you know?
Well,
on the second time, I was skipping a few of them.
Yeah.
But sometimes I couldn't always skip them. Like if I'm
you're
driving and I'm
exactly.
like, I don't have the hands,
Yeah.
like I just have to sit there and be like,
Yeah.
come on.
Yeah.
So for me, that I see why he did it.
Yeah.
But I was like, I don't want to hear it.
Yeah, well, he doesn't do it on any of the following albums.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure that was a complaint.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You reckon that's feedback he got?
Yeah, I reckon.
Yeah.
But in the end of the day, he that album won Rap Album of the Year that year.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, as it should, because he was already in the industry.
And not only that,
So he had already kind of figured out.
but
like,
he changed the industry.
Ooh.
Yeah, because if you think about it, so Kanye was, I wouldn't say that he was the first kind of soft rapper. Like you had jazz rap acts, you had like Outkast, if you know them.
Oh,
like,
yeah, I know Outkast.
They weren't like super hyper masculine, but if you think about early 2000s rap, as much as I love it, like you had 50 Cent, who was the biggest artist in the world at the time, and you know you had kind of everyone kind of falling underneath him.
Well, what about Snoop?
Oh, well, Snoop by that point, he was well established. He was 90s, but he was still like popping on. But
He wasn't like hardcore rap.
Well, he was still a gangster rapper.
Would you not consider him to be like a soft rapper?
Snoop, no. Like, he's still a hard cunt. He's from the hood. Yeah.
I know that. But like, to me, I have this image in my head of Snoop as like a really cool,
He's
chill
always
guy.
been that guy, but it's always like when the moment comes, you know.
I don't feel like in my head,
Yeah.
Snoop doesn't really fit into a box of like hegemonic masculinity. Like,
Well, I think he's evolved past that, but there was
do you think maybe in the
there
beginning?
was a point in time where he was definitely a part of that for sure.
Right.
But he definitely has evolved much past that.
Yeah.
But Kanye was like, he was known as a rapper, as what his rap image was. He used to wear a pink polo, which used to be so controversial back then. It was like, you know what I
How
mean?
times
It was,
have
Yeah,
changed.
exactly right.
Jesus.
But you know, he would you know, as much as like I said, as much as I kind of love like the early 2000s rap, like it was very like you only had that.
Right.
Kanye kind of came along and through kind of just like his presence in the industry, and then it became like a few years later there was an actual album sales showdown between Kanye's third album and 50 Cent's third album, and it was
Wow.
like an election almost of like because they were releasing on the same day.
Oh shit.
Yeah. So
they have beef?
It wasn't a personal beef. It was literally just like a
Just how it happened?
Yeah, like they were
Right.
just scheduled on the same day,
Wow.
and then the media hyped it up and they played into it for
course they would.
promotion. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And it was like a proper vote of like
Who won?
Kanye.
Wow.
Yeah. And he did have the better
Wait,
album.
is his third album My Beautiful Dark Twisted
No.
Fantasy?
No. So that's Graduation, which is
Graduation is
It's
the
in the
third
middle.
one?
It's in the
Right.
middle of College Dropout and My
Yeah.
Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. That was. I don't know what is going on with my mouth today.
Pussy. But I knew exactly what you said.
but basically, and then it was from that point that rap had completely changed. Because gangster rap, I would consider to be the biggest subgenre of rap.
Right.
But 2007 was when it not died, but it definitely just went.
Right.
And then Kanye, kind of what he ushered in, just people being more expressive for more corners of life. Like you had, you know, from that point, you wouldn't have people like Drake as much as I.
Well, you
dislike
know
him.
who this
But
album reminded me of?
Yeah.
Childish Gambino.
Yeah, Childish Gambino.
Because I listened to Childish
Yeah.
Gambino and like I went on like a huge like, what do you call it when like you just like a binge of like Childish Gambino.
Yeah.
Like I was listening to like literally 2 months ago I was listening to him every day for like 2 weeks. So he was kind of fresh in my mind listening to College Dropout, and I was like, I see a lot of similarity in like vocal style and like I don't even know, just like the rapping, the way they both rap is very similar. And obviously we all know Childish Gambino came after Kanye.
Exactly.
So
he's one of them. Tyler the Creator is another one. Like basically the whole SoundCloud scene, but then, you know, Lil Nas X, like, all these.
You reckon Lil Nas X influenced by Kanye?
Yeah, some of Lil Nas X's songs are produced by Kanye.
Whoa.
Yeah, you know, Industry Baby.
I love Industry.
Yeah.
Kanye produced that?
Yeah.
I love Industry
Baby. Do you know what the crazy thing about Kanye is that there was a point, like he's produced so many pop anthems that you don't even realize.
Wow.
Because Kanye, throughout his whole career as well, even though this was his rap album and blah, 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 and he continued to rap over the years, he has always been a producer first. Every single Kanye album has like such a distinct sound that separates it from all the rest.
Cannot believe Industry Baby was produced by Kanye.
Yeah.
That's like that's recent
There's
too.
heaps of like 2000s R&B hits that you wouldn't even realize.
That's a good song, Industry Baby.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm surprised.
Yeah.
I've been bamboozled.
Bamboozled.
This whole time I was supporting Kanye without even realizing.
But that's him. But yeah, I love Kanye's first album. I feel like because I used to actually not like Kanye myself.
Wow.
Yeah.
When did you start liking Kanye?
16, 17. So
that's that's pretty recent.
Yeah, like because when I first started getting into rap, I loved like all the OG stuff and all the like, you know, just the classic shit. You know what I mean? Like Snoop, Ice Cube, and like even like newer acts like Kendrick. You know, just like the more like authentic, if you will, or like true to his roots. I
love King Kunta.
Yeah, King Kunta's amazing.
That's such a good song.
We got to save Kendrick for another episode.
We should actually, because I think I would enjoy Kendrick. Because I love King Kunta and I love Humble. I love all the stars.
Yeah, all of the stars. Yeah.
Oh, I nearly said all the lights.
I was saying something. Oh yeah, I used to just not like Kanye, right?
Yeah.
And then, you know, I like kind of basically I listened to this album and then I listened to the rest of his discography. But I feel like this album is kind of just like what took away my prejudice, because I also like judged him from his like public persona. You know what I mean?
It's hard not to.
Yeah, and I feel like it's a thing of like if you're not invested from like the other side,
then it's hard to get behind. Which is why there's so many like Kanye fans that are probably like that are still hanging on. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like there's definitely been points in Kanye's trajectory that I've not agreed with.
Yeah.
like that's undeniable.
100%.
Like it's impossible, but you know, I always
you can't in good faith support a lot of the things that he says and does.
I agree.
Yeah.
But what I do like, I think this would actually be more of a topic for the next album, so I'll save it.
Okay.
But I just feel like, as far as this album's concerned, I feel like it's just so important to just kind of at least have that context of where he's come from.
Yeah.
Because I do think...
I agree.
I think the difference is night and day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so. That was so long ago.
Yeah.
Like, imagine how much you change in a year, let alone 20.
It's funny.
Like, we're looking at an album that's 20 years old.
It's funny because he released an album this year. And literally he released it on the same day, 20th anniversary of his first album.
Wow.
Yeah. And I remember sharing it and I was like, 20 years, what a journey.
That is a journey.
It's been a journey. It's been a journey.
He's been in the industry for a long time.
Do you know Kanye at his peak, he was the richest black man in America.
Wow.
In history. $6 billion. Yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah. And
He was a billionaire.
6 times over.
Oh, God.
And it's all gone.
I knew you were going to say that. I knew it before you
It's
even
not.
said
It's
it.
not all gone. It's not all gone.
It's mostly gone.
He's on his way back up.
Is he?
Yeah, he is actually. Do you know? So he, so he's a fashion designer as well.
Yeah.
Which we'll kind of get into a bit later as well. But so his latest thing are the Yeezy Pods, where they're basically socks.
Oh,
but
I've
they're shoes.
seen them.
Well,
I hate it.
Well, he what he did was he literally paid for a slot on the Super Bowl.
Really? They're expensive.
Super expensive.
Too.
He just paid for it, and he filmed an ad on his iPhone, and it's just him talking to the camera, and he's just like,
of course it is.
He's like, oh yeah, Yeezy Pods are $20 each. Just buy them from this website, and then he made like, I think that ad cost $9 million.
Holy shit!
And he made $20 million in like 2 days or something.
He still has so much influence.
Yeah. So.
You know what though? It's also because even though he's kind of like fucked his image in the music sphere, he's still respected as a fashion designer.
Yeah. Well,
like,
I think
people still wear Yeezys all the time.
Well, I think he's started to win back some of the industry support.
Right.
Well, I don't know if I'd even call it industry support, but like because he hates the industry. He
Yeah.
hates the industry, and I think that's kind of his thing, as misguided as it is. Like. The way he goes about it.
Yeah.
Yes. The way he goes about it. But he still like the album he released this year, it still went #1. There's a #1 song on there. Like
he's still got a lot of commercial success.
Yeah. So it's pretty impressive, all things considered.
Well, it just shows that as a man, you can fuck up so many times and everyone still loves you. That's what I'm taking away from that.
All right. All right. Well,
mad.
How about we use that as the segue to talk about a woman?
Yes. A good woman. Let's talk about Evermore. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. You better have some good things to say. I said some nice things about Kanye.
You did say some nice things about Kanye. Do I get to say some bad things about Taylor?
No. Okay. What? That is the worst trade deal in the history of trade deals ever. To quote another man I hate.
I'll keep. Nah, well, look. Coming from Folklore.
Yes. Oh my God. So coming from Folklore is a whole journey in itself. And then going into Evermore. You know, she dropped Evermore 5 months after.
Yeah. Both in 2020. Both in COVID. Crazy. And I don't even know where to start with this one. So I remember I said when I was talking about the last one, I was like, so there's things I like and there's things I dislike. Which one do you want to start?
Well, I've already forgotten the things you dislike.
Good. But with the things that I feel like I didn't even have that on my mind listening to this one.
Like you didn't have Folklore on your mind? Or
No, I didn't have like a likes and dislikes.
Good. You went into it with like a clean slate?
Yeah, clean. I treated it like its own thing.
Cool. Well, I mean, yeah.
And I actually enjoyed this one more.
Really?
A lot more.
Isn't it so good?
Now I'll say
good.
I'll say this on first listen.
Yes, tell me.
Okay, so I'll say I think this is the important distinction between the two albums. For me, as far as like my personal feelings.
Yeah.
So I think I actually liked, in general, more songs of Folklore.
Huh.
But my favorite songs so far in this whole thing are all on Evermore.
Okay, go. How does that work?
So I saved more songs, which
On
means
Evermore?
on Folklore,
Oh.
which means that like there was more songs that I just found like agreeably good that I just like
Right.
good enough to save, sort of thing,
Yeah.
right? With this one, I didn't save as often, but the songs that I
You felt stronger for the songs that you did say.
yes,
Cool, I get
exactly,
you.
yeah. And I
Right.
think in turn, I feel like that makes me prefer this one more. But not that being said, I still liked 10 songs out of 17.
That's pretty good.
So Folklore was 12.
Yeah,
out of 17.
that's pretty
yeah,
close.
Yeah. Pretty close enough. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? I've looking
Can
at this,
I-
it feels more spread out.
Can I tell you my favorite song first?
What about my favorite?
But what about my favorite songs? I just want to know. I just want to make it clear. If you say that this was one of your favorites,
I'll tell you whether I've got it saved or not.
I want to make it clear that I liked it first.
Obviously.
No, but I love it.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay,
I don't know
look,
if I love it.
I
don't know
don't.
if that's any.
Okay, so I win anyway.
You win.
I am
You
the
win the
biggest
Taylor
Swiftie.
Swift competition.
Okay, look. I don't have a favorite song,
Okay.
but if like someone put a gun to my head and said, "You have to name one right now, bitch."
And let me ask you, is this your favorite Taylor Swift song, period?
Are you crazy?
I don't know. I'm
I've
asking.
got. I can't say that.
Okay, that's actually how I feel about Snoop. That's how I feel about Snoop.
Yeah,
I
bro,
can't,
imagine if I said to
can't
you-
name.
If I said to you, "What's your favorite Snoop Dogg song ever?"
Look, it'd be a thing of like I can't choose, but if I was put a gun to my head and I had to say one, I would know the one I
What
would
would
say.
it be?
It's actually on a soundtrack album. Yeah. It's not even on his main discography.
wow. What is it?
It's called 21 Jump Street, and it's just like the perfect Snoop song.
Oh,
Front to back,
wow.
it's just the perfect Snoop song.
And it's on the 21 Jump Street film.
No. It's on in a different episode when we were talking about Snoop and he was going through that murder trial. So he put out a soundtrack album because he already had a song called Murder Was the Case.
Yeah.
So he put out that song again with a whole soundtrack around it and there was other
Wow.
artists on it, but there was more Snoop songs.
Wow.
And it was kind of to cash in on the drama that he was going through, which
Wow.
probably
And-
paid for his lawyers.
Nice.
But he, there's one song on there. It's like a little hidden gem of a song, but I love it. I love it. Yeah. No.
Well, I don't know if I could. Maybe I would say this song.
Yeah, but
Anyway.
it'll always change on the day.
I was just about to say the same thing.
Yeah.
Every 3 days, my favorite Taylor Swift song
Yeah,
changes.
exactly. So it'd be like
How
that
am I
for me as
supposed
well.
to- Okay, but this song,
Okay.
every time I listen to it, I'm on my knees. Do you know what I mean?
I get that.
I'm like on my knees for this song. I love it. It's got me like praying to the gods, like right where you left me. Friends
Moment
break
of
up,
truth.
friends get married, strangers
Yeah.
get born. I cannot sing Taylor Swift, but
No, I really like that one too.
that
Yeah.
and you know what? You can apply that song to so many different situations.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't just have to be about a romantic partner. It's about friendships. It's about jobs. It's about family members. Like it transcends
Yeah.
all other bodies of work
Yeah,
from
yeah,
every
well.
artist in the entire universe. It is. And you know, I've actually watched this video.
Damn. So it's
That
so
song-
it's up there for
It's
you.
up
Right.
top 5.
Wow,
Top,
wow.
top 5.
Did she perform it
100%.
live either time?
I'm pretty sure she's done it as a surprise song. I did not witness it.
Yeah. If you did.
If I had, I would have been that girl on that TikTok screaming at the front of the arena. I can't tell you how many times I've listened to that song. That
Damn.
song,
It's a good one. I say
like, and I watched this video talking about, and it's such a good way to finish the album. What a strong way to finish the album, being like,
Yeah.
you fucking hurt me and I'm still here with it. Like,
Yeah,
God,
wow.
it just really, it
Damn.
leaves a taste in your mouth that's like, I'm so uncomfortable with this pain. And that's the feeling that she gives
Yeah.
you, because she's like, I'm not through this chapter yet.
You know what
and so neither are you.
You know what I will say about this album, which I kind of liked more.
Yeah.
So her singing performance on the first album, the Folklore, I thought like it was like good, like it was good. It wasn't
Yeah.
anything that blew me away or anything.
Right.
But there were several songs on this album where I was actually like quite impressed by
Her
her
vocal-
vocal range
Yeah.
and just the songwriting paired
Yeah.
with how she delivers it.
Don't
I
you
thought was
think it's
great.
just-
And there's some songs I can like pick apart like that.
Yeah.
I was like, damn, this
Well,
is really good.
What I was going to say before I forget about Right Where You Left Me, I watched this video and she has performed this live because she always messes it up. So she's always singing along and she always either sings the wrong lyric or, Yeah, it's usually she sings the wrong verse. And I watched this video and someone was like, a musician was breaking it down and they were saying, this is the most complicated structured song. And that's why she messes it up live because the way, look, I'm not a musician, so I don't really know how it works, but they were pretty much saying the way it is so beautifully and complicatedly structured that it never repeats itself. And so that's why, even when I'm singing along, I still sometimes mess up the lyrics because I forget where we are because it keeps changing.
Yeah, gotcha.
And it's like, it's supposed to do that.
Right.
Because it's not supposed to be easy. It's not supposed to be, it's not.
Yeah.
And it's just like her brain is just so good. Like, how does she do that?
I do like that, like her lyrics come across like poetry. You know what I mean?
Because it is poetry. It actually is poetry.
Yeah. Like you could like just like read it as if it is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
100%.
Yeah. Which I do appreciate about her songwriting style.
Thank you.
So I really
Okay.
let me tell you my thoughts.
I'm going to shut up because I'm telling you my thoughts. We're here to hear your thoughts. I'm so sorry. I just had to get that out. You know?
Yeah. Fair. So wait, let me ask you this.
so
Let me ask you this.
passionate.
Is this your favorite album of all time?
Oh, I think so.
It's up there.
Gun to my
Damn,
head. Top 3.
Wow.
Probably top 2.
Yeah, wow.
Maybe my favorite.
It's cool. It's cool because the album that I gave you, the second Kanye album.
Is that your favorite?
No, it's my favorite Kanye album.
Well, yeah.
And it would be in my top 10.
Ah.
Like,
top 10 of all artists.
Yeah, of all artists.
Right.
Of all artists.
I think this
probably has
would
number
be-
6.
Oh.
Yeah. Just
knows.
just doesn't miss the top, the top 5.
Just didn't get
Which
into
is
top 5.
which is like Kanye for me as an artist anyway.
Yeah, right. Well, if I had to say top 5 albums out of all artists, this would be in there.
Damn.
Hands down, this album would be in there.
Yeah, wow. Okay,
right,
so let me
tell me.
What do you want to know first? You want to know my favorite songs?
I want to know.
Well, yeah. Let me ask you. This is your favorite album. What do you want to know my thoughts on?
I want to know, how did you feel listening to it?
Sad.
Yes.
Sad.
Good.
More sad than the first album.
Yeah, it's hard.
I felt like the first album. This is kind of what I was
You
saying
know,
earlier.
right now I could cry because of this album.
This is kind of what I was saying earlier about the first album. The first album, like I could appreciate it, but there was definitely a part of me that was. Keep in mind, I listened to them weeks apart.
Yeah, that's good.
But the first album, there were points during it where I did kind of have this feeling of like, why should I care? You know what I mean?
I remember you saying that.
Yeah, I just said it. Like, but
Well, I'm still not happy.
Well, basically, it's like I feel like this album did a better job of
Making you care.
making me care, and I feel like
Yeah.
that's actually important. Like, because I first three songs, I was like, damn. Like the Folklore was making me think about some shit, but this album was making me think about some shit.
Yeah.
Like I'll just say it off the top. They're not my favorite songs, but 2 of them are my favorite songs.
Tell me.
So just from Willow to Gold Rush. Okay,
Wait.
let me just tell you my favorite.
Are you about to talk about Gold Rush?
Let me talk about.
Sorry.
So my favorite song.
Yeah.
So far in this whole thing.
Yeah.
Is Gold Rush. Yeah.
You need to stop. Okay, you need to stop right now because you are silenced. Because I don't know. Gold Rush is one of my favorites. And when I was crushing on my girlfriend, before I told her how I felt, I would listen to Gold Rush about her.
Wow.
And I would just listen to it on repeat and be like, this song is how I feel. Do you know what I mean?
Delina.
Shout out to my beautiful girlfriend, Delina. But Gold Rush, it's so beautiful. And I remember showing her, and she was already a Swiftie, but I loved Evermore more than her. And I said to her and our 2 other friends, who I'm not friends with anymore, but that's fine. I said to the 3 of them, I was like, you need to just absorb this song.
Yeah, gotcha.
None of them gave a shit about it. Not even Delina.
Yeah, well.
And in my head, I was like, but I listened to this about you. Like, she doesn't even care about this song. But it is such a
Has she
good
performed
song.
that live?
Yeah. She's pretty much
Yeah.
performed every song live. But
Every song? I mean, she has so many.
she's got so
She's got
many.
so many. That's what I'm like realizing. as
Yeah.
well. Like, fuck, man. There's so many songs that people just don't even know about.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's what I've been saying this whole time.
Yeah. I mean, but like, I understand both sides of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I for both this album and the last one, I don't think I would have been able to even name a song prior to going into this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Off either of them. Like if I just looked at the track list.
Yeah, you wouldn't.
So
This is why when people think she's just that public image,
Yeah.
it drives me crazy because these 2
Yeah.
albums are so beautiful, so meaningful, so unlike her previous work. And
Something
people
that-
just overlook it.
Yeah. And I think it's something that's pretty left field for a pop artist of her stature.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
To just drop.
it's hard because I can't help but not compare of someone who is in a similar boat as far as like kind of stardom, right? So Drake, right?
Oh,
I can't stand the cunt, right?
I don't like him either.
I don't. This is a whole other episode.
This is a whole other
But I
episode.
do want to say, but I feel like there are similarities between the two artists. But I just think about like, man, like listening to Taylor Swift of like what a pop artist could be, and then you listen to him. It's like I can't imagine him doing a fucking album that has anywhere the level of layers that this does. You know what I mean?
You.
And it just like kind of
And
pisses me off.
It's so nuanced. Like her work is so nuanced and so deep and complex. Like
yeah.
that's I agree.
Because you can. I mean, I imagine the Swifties would have had a field day with both of these albums.
You have no idea. I will never. I still remember the first
When
time
it drops.
listening to Evermore.
Yeah, gotcha.
And one of my favorite songs, "Nobody No Crime." I love that song. I was brushing my hair and I was about to go renew my license, and my sister came in to the bathroom. This is when we both lived at home. And Nobody No Crime had just come on and she was trying to talk to me about something. And I was like, oh, fuck's sake, I can't listen to this new song because you're yapping. I didn't say that because I love my sister. I wanted to talk to her. So I paused it and I was like, I can't have this in the background half listening. Yeah. And then I remember getting in the car. And so like we talked about what we had to talk about and then I left and I got into the car to drive to like Service New South Wales and I put it on and I was like, oh, I'm so glad I waited.
Damn.
Because there's a plot twist in Nobody No Crime. Like I had to absorb that, you know?
There's a plot twist?
In Nobody No Crime, girl.
I don't know.
She killed him.
Oh, I got that from the jump.
Okay, well, you know what? I was being present with the song and I had a feeling.
I don't know. I figured that like as soon as I saw the title. But
you know what?
But what I will say about Nobody No Crime, that one, and so I love country. I actually love country.
Really?
Yeah.
And Nobody No Crime's got a little bit of a...
Yeah. No. I actually like those. Like when you bring the harmonica out, I love that shit.
Cool. That's
like,
cool.
So it was that one and Cowboy Like Me.
Oh my God, Cowboy Like Me.
Yeah, those were both tracks
I have to disclaim something.
What?
It took me up until 2022, first year of acting school, to properly appreciate Cowboy Like Me and Coney Island. Oh, yeah. And now I listen to them and I think they are such good songs. They are such beautifully written songs. And it took me 2 years. I was sleeping on them for 2 years. I still liked them. But it took me until first year of acting school to be like, damn, Cowboy Like Me. Also because I had a better understanding of it. I applied a different lens. Right. I applied the queer lens to that song.
Well, sometimes you need to... I mean, there was a bunch of Snoop songs, right, that I grew up listening to his whole discography, blah, blah. And then... just later in life, I just found appreciation for other songs, and I was just like, you know what I mean?
Isn't that nice though? It's so nice that can happen.
You know, when there's like, it's not even just with Snoop, just in artists in general, but you know when there's those songs that you've been listening to forever, just because they're like on an album or something, and then one day they just click with you.
That was Cowboy Like Me, and now I listen to it and I can really read between the lines of what she's saying, and I'm like, this is actually, it gets slept on too. I slept on it, and it's like, I can't even put into words. It's so layered, like you said, it's so layered and it's so honest and raw if you're listening for it. You know? I know what she's really saying.
Yeah, well, we have.
But even if you don't know, it's still a good song.
Well, basically that. Like, I think I'm not playing. But basically,
nice. Put it on.
I like like Champagne Problems.
Oh.
Yeah. So this is my top three: Champagne Problems, Gold
That's a good
Rush,
one.
and Evermore.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I wanted to say something really weird about My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy and Evermore.
What?
And Folklore.
What?
Guess who is on all three albums? Bon Iver.
Yeah.
Do you know how surprised I was to see Bon Iver in a Kanye album?
Yeah.
I only know him from Taylor Swift.
I only know him from Kanye, to be honest.
That's what I thought was so weird. I was like, this geezer's in Kanye's music?
Yeah.
But he's gone to the right side. He's now more with Taylor.
I mean, I don't know. They all make songs with each other.
Ugh.
I can't believe Taylor Swift, I know it's on a different album, but I can't believe Taylor Swift has a song with Future of all people.
It's such a good song.
Yeah, I love Future.
That's a good song. Have you listened to that song?
I think I may have heard it, but not.
It's a good one.
You know what I mean? That's the thing. Of Future, and Taylor Swift, their fan bases are opposites.
I've never really listened to Future.
I don't know if you'd like him.
I love him.
I like him in that song.
I love Future, but I don't know if you would appreciate him.
Anyway, I think that's weird that Bon Iver is in My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy and
overall,
Folklore and Evermore.
You know what I would actually give this album?
Oh, what?
An 8.
That means you like it.
I like it a lot. Yeah.
Will you listen to it again?
I listened to more Taylor Swift based off this.
Yes.
But, I mean, yeah, technically I would listen to it again.
I think I can classify you now as a Swiftie.
Would not go that far.
You wouldn't call yourself that?
I'll call myself a Swiftie when I'd actually pay money to see her live.
Girl, you should pay money to see her live.
Only if Flavor Flav opens.
I would love to see that.
I would be there.
He would. He would do it for free.
He would do it given the opportunity.
He would.
Yeah.
He's a huge Swiftie.
Yeah.
I love that he's
I love
a Swiftie.
Flavor Flav.
I love Flavor Flav.
But I mean, I don't know.
I'm really happy.
I'm very far.
really
Look,
happy.
I'm also think of it like I'm also looking at it from an objective lens. I don't know how often I would go out of my way to listen to Taylor Swift, but like I would visit it. You know what I mean?
I need to send you the video of Taylor Swift singing Champagne Problems in a wedding dress.
Yeah.
There's this video of her. She's on set for a different music video, but she's in a wedding dress for this different music video. And there was a piano, and I think it's Aaron Dessner, her collaborator that she works with a lot. I think he's playing piano, and she's sitting on the floor in this magnificent wedding dress. And someone's up this spiral staircase filming and going down as she's singing Champagne Problems. Damn. It is beautiful. Seeing Champagne Problems live is one of the greatest joys of my life.
Damn.
That song hurts.
Yeah, it does.
In all the best ways.
Yeah, it does. Like,
You know?
I think the first 3 songs are especially sad. Oh, you know what's a fucking sad song? But
tell
I
me.
saved it, but it's not really a song that I'd revisit. But just because it is, Marjorie.
I can't talk about
I don't
want to
talk about. I don't even want to talk about.
I can't talk about it.
I don't even want to think about it.
I cry every time I hear that for my own personal reasons.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Like,
Yeah, that's what it is. It just gets me. It gets me thinking about shit that I don't want to think about.
I had to hear that live too twice. I was bawling my eyes out both times. Do you know how hard that was? It was so nice.
I don't know if I've cried at a concert.
I've cried at too many concerts.
Wow.
Mostly Taylor Swift.
Yeah, I don't think I've cried to a concert.
I've cried at a Mayday Parade concert. Like, girl, get your shit together.
Cry?
Marjorie's a sad
I remember I saw Joey Badass live. He was quite emotional.
I don't even know who that is.
Yeah, but he's amazing. He's really good.
I've cried at Mayday. I've cried at Taylor Swift. Who else?
Yeah.
That might be it. All right. Anything else to say about Evermore?
What else do you want to know? Because I could talk about it.
Can you see why Folklore and Evermore are sister albums?
Of course. Like,
do you see now also why I wanted to give you Evermore first?
These two you want to, yeah, of course.
But
I'm glad
Yes.
you gave me Folklore first.
Yes,
I'm glad
I
you gave me
agree.
because I do think it sets this album up.
I agree.
I think I think these are I think you did right showing me these. And I'm glad that we agreed to do 2 album reviews.
Me too.
Because I feel like A, they go hand in hand, and B, I feel like Folklore was a good like context album for this. But I just feel like walking away from this, just with these 2 albums, I can see the artistic merit in Taylor Swift to the point where
This is so
to a degree, I probably wouldn't tolerate like slander.
Tolerate it. Get it? Tolerate it. A song,
Yes, that is a
Tolerate it.
song. Yeah, but like,
Wait, say that again. You wouldn't what?
I wouldn't tolerate Taylor's slander as far as her
I didn't even
music's
hear that.
concerned.
I was too focused on the pun. That's a great thing to say.
Yeah, you know what I mean? 'Cause,
Yeah.
like there is merit there. How many songs can most people who aren't in the in know? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So, you know, I'm not going to blindly hate something.
Yeah.
Even
But
if
it's nice
it's a
that you-
popular opinion, you know what I mean?
But it's nice that you said you won't even tolerate other people talking shit because
Yeah, because
you for yourself
you at
have
least
listened.
have to have a reason.
Yeah, but you for yourself have listened to more of her work than other haters have.
Yeah, exactly. So you can't just like look at, because you know it's the same thing. It's honestly really the same thing about Kanye. Like you can.
Yeah.
There's so much.
I think it's a bit different, but
Well, how about we move into that topic next? All right.
Okay.
So
are we doing Kanye's album next?
My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy.
You want to do that?
Yeah.
All right.
Should I give a little bit of a preview for backstory with me because you did for Evermore?
I mean, I was desperate to talk about Evermore.
Well, look. I just have a couple things to say.
Okay.
So
20 minutes worth?
Yeah. No, not 20 minutes worth. I'll keep it quick.
Okay.
But basically, in short, this is one of my favorite albums, period. I think this was the album that made me go like, oh yeah, I'm a Kanye fan. You know what I mean?
Right.
I feel like this is the album that no matter what he does from this point, unless it's something that's really
bad to the point where it's something that goes against, really goes against my morals. If it's something that's like sexual abuse or predatory behavior.
Well, I mean, have you not seen the music video for Famous?
Yeah, but he didn't abuse anyone, did he?
It's like sexual harassment. It's
did she
wrong.
not get the so did Taylor Swift not get the okay?
Not for the music video and not for most of the song.
Right.
So that music video is what's really bad.
It's funny because I actually remember when I watched that music video for the first time and I didn't like it.
It's disgusting.
Yeah.
Why would you do that?
I can't explain it or defend it.
Yeah.
But that's not even this album. So
Okay.
but I will say that this is, I feel like even if because I love hip hop. I love hip hop. And if it's good hip hop, then I love it. You know what I mean? Regardless of blah, blah, blah.
Right.
So look, this album, because Kanye in the grand scheme of the rap industry, I love Snoop. Snoop's my favorite artist of all time. I love lots of different artists. There's artists I put above Kanye. What I think makes Kanye stand out from everyone else is, quite factually, I don't think anyone has ever had the run of sonic masterpieces that he's put out.
Wow.
He's put 8 albums out in a row. Like, he had a run that within that run, like every single album was either what could be considered a masterpiece or at the very least a classic album. Damn. And no other rap artist has even come close. And I think the closest is Kendrick. But the thing is, Kanye has more music at this present time.
Right. He's got a bigger discography.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
But that being, but I feel like this is the pinnacle of it all. I feel like this album, I feel like what you'll kind of notice with the album as well is that there's a cast, if you will, as far as the featured rappers.
Well, I was going to comment on that.
Yeah.
It's funny you say that because I have a note about that.
Yeah. So anyway, I'll pass the mic over to you. But to me, this is I feel like one of the greatest pieces of art that the genre has produced.
Wow, that's a big claim.
Yeah, it's up there. I wouldn't say it's the greatest, but it's up there.
All right.
So I'm going to pass the mic to you.
Okay. All right. The first thing that I'm going to say is, what is the first thing I'm going to say? I could start with so many things. All right. I'll start with this. I was so surprised at how many Kanye songs I actually knew, but I didn't know were Kanye. There are so many songs on there that I'm like, oh, I've heard this before. But I never realized, or I didn't know that I knew those songs. I forgot they existed. So Power. Let me start with Power real quick. Yeah. God, I put that on a CrossFit playlist for our CrossFit comp last year, or maybe it was the year before. I don't know. Yeah. Oh, it was last year. Yeah. Because I heard it and I was like, hey, this is on that playlist I made when I was DJing at the CrossFit comp. Yeah. And I was like, just surprised. I didn't even remember doing that. Yeah. But I knew it from there. And I knew Runaway. Yeah. Of course I knew all of the lights. I love all the lights. I didn't know the All of the Lights interlude. Yeah. Which was really beautiful hearing that for the first time. I was like, well, it's actually And then it's straight
Have you heard Monster before?
Okay. Yeah. Let me tell you about Monster. I must be an idiot or something. Because I know that Nicki verse. Didn't know it was from a Kanye song. This whole time, I've seen so many actors and musicians rap it. I knew it was a Nicki verse. I just thought it was from a Nicki song that I hadn't listened to. So I'm listening to Monster and then that verse comes on and I was like, oh my God, I'm actually so embarrassingly stupid because this whole time, I had no idea it was from Monster. And
how good is the verse?
It's a good verse. I love when she says I don't have an album, but I get 50K for a verse. I was like, damn. I also didn't know that about Nicki, so I'm learning about all things. I actually love that song though. Yeah, that's a good song. I like Monster.
That was before she was famous. That was on
cool.
her come up. That was on her come up, and she's on a song out rapping everyone on it.
Yeah,
so, crazy.
Well, she's the standout, isn't it?
I like everyone's verse, but she stands out. She does stand out.
I really like Monster. Yeah. Again, I'm trying not to I hear my Swiftie brain being traitor, you traitor. But I could listen to Monster.
Yeah, gotcha. Okay.
I think I like it more than the new workout plan.
Yeah. What did you think? All right,
let me tell you some more.
Tell me, yeah.
Yeah, all right, I'm getting to it. So, I'm surprised at how many songs I already knew. I like it more than College Dropout.
Okay,
yeah,
cool,
I like
cool.
it a lot
No,
more.
nice.
I found with College Dropout there were a few points where I was like, all right, like I'm done, like get to it.
Yeah.
Whereas in this, I was kind of able to sit more in it and like I could zone out while listening to it and being like, oh, I'm chilling to Kanye, like shit. And my little pinkness and micro, my pink jacket, zoning out to Kanye, like, you know what I mean? He's like the background.
Yeah.
Do you know what I fear?
What? I
have listened to this album like 3 times. I've listened to College Dropout like 2.5 times. I'm so scared he's going to be in my like Spotify Wrapped. I'm actually scared. I'm on a mission this year to outplay Kanye. Like I have to find all these artists now to play more than Kanye because I'm not joking. I don't want him in my Spotify Wrapped. I don't want him in there. I don't want him in my top 5. I don't want him in my 100 songs. Like I don't want him in there. Saying that. I love Monster.
Yeah.
I love All of the Lights.
Yeah.
I like Power.
Yeah.
No man should have all that power.
Oh, yeah.
I like that, yeah. I like the beat of Gorgeous. I think that's fun.
Oh, Gorgeous is great.
Yeah,
Yeah. How good is his rapping on that song?
Look,
What?
I don't really have I don't have the best ear for rapping.
Yeah, right.
So I'm not really sitting there thinking, oh,
The bars.
yeah, you know what I mean? I was just like, ooh, the beat's good. And like, he sounds okay. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I'm not like, I can't really critique.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Right.
Yep.
But you know it's there.
Yeah. Well, yes.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah, but like throughout the whole song, he's spitting.
Yeah. Well, it's a good song.
Yeah, it's great.
I thought the album was more cohesive than College Dropout.
Yeah, I agree.
And I wonder if it's because of the ad-libs of College Dropout that make me feel like it's so split up.
Yeah,
like I feel like
It definitely pads it out, for
that
sure.
could be a reason why. But listening to My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, I was like, this is so cohesive.
Yeah.
From start to finish, it feels like a body of work.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It doesn't feel like I'm listening to separate songs. Like it feels like it flows.
Like one into the other.
Yes, I agree. I found it easier to listen to. Also, I was thinking, am I finding it easier to listen to because it's more commercial? Because it's more mainstream?
Yeah.
Because there is a mainstream quality to it.
Yeah.
Like definitely with All the Lights, all those features on it, even just that one song.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then he does have a lot of features on the whole album.
I love.
And that makes me wonder, is it because it's more commercial that I can listen to it?
I'll kind of explain the reasoning why later. But I will say that what I do like about the album is it does feel like it kind of plays like a movie in the sense that it feels like there's like all the guests that are on there. Most of them are reoccurring. So like you have 2 Jay-Z verses, you have 2 Rick Ross verses, you have Nicki Minaj appears 2 separate points of the album. She starts the album off.
I thought that was her. Yeah.
Pusha T's in 2 different things, and then you have everyone else. So it feels like it. And then
I wish there was more Rihanna on it.
Yeah. But like and there's multiple Kid Cudi as well. But like but he feels like he's at the forefront of it and he's leading them, sort of
I
thing.
agree.
You know what I mean?
I agree.
But yeah. Can I get your thoughts on 2 different songs?
Wait,
because,
can I say one more thing?
Yeah.
So something else that I remembered from my youth was Yeezy Taught Me. God, in the Tumblr days, that would be everywhere. And I didn't know what that meant.
Really?
I would you would see like Yeezy Taught Me on everything.
Wow.
I had no idea what that meant.
That's actually my least favorite song on the whole album.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Do you know that's actually one song on the whole
that the
album?
Blame Game?
Blame Game.
Yeah.
That's the one song in the whole album I actually dislike, but I feel like the rest of the album is so good that it makes up for it.
Why don't you like it?
I think to me it's definitely the worst song in the album.
Also, is that John Legend speaking?
No, it's Chris Rock.
Okay, because I saw John Legend was on it and I was like, that does not sound like John Legend.
He's singing the chorus.
Right.
But no, that's Chris Rock at the end.
Oh, that makes sense. I can see that now. Yeah. Who's the girl?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just feel like that song's such a dud to me.
It's just so weird because now I'm like, that Yeezy Taught Me thing.
Yeezy taught me.
I understand it now.
Yeah, right,
you know what I
right.
mean? I remember seeing that back in the day.
Moment.
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck? I had one more thing to say, but my phone locked. Oh, there is one line that really got me thinking.
Whoa.
I think it was a Jay-Z line when he says, would you rather be underpaid or overrated?
Overrated, yeah.
Holy shit.
Okay.
Because
Yeah,
wait, let me tell you my thoughts first. When I heard that, I was like I was driving home from work and I was thinking about it and I was like, that's a really hard choice. Because I was like, underpaid, which means you're doing good work but not getting the recognition. But then overrated is your work is not worth it, but you are successful.
I think it's interesting it's funny.
It really had me thinking.
It's coming from Jay-Z. So Jay-Z, his place within rap is like he's widely considered as one of the greatest to do it. But like he's like in such a league of his own that you have a lot of people being like, oh, like he's overrated. Like, you know what I mean? That sort of thing. But I think because coming from the position that he is, he's, you know, the richest figure in rap, right?
Right.
It's like, yeah, would you rather be underpaid or overrated?
It's
you know
really,
what I mean? Like,
it kind of fucked with my head a bit.
But it's like, oh, fine, I'll be overrated.
Well, that's kind of what
Like,
I was leaning towards. I was like, you could, like right now, we are kind of considered underpaid. We're professional actors. I'm doing work for free. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it doesn't feel that good.
Yeah.
So then I'm like, maybe overrated is better because at least you know your work is good.
This is going to be, it's interesting that I say this now, right? Because I think there's scripts that I want to work on just with the intention to sell.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, like you want to write them and sell them for other people to make.
Yeah, exactly. But you know, I think the thought as a writer has crossed my mind of like, I reckon like I could make something that is not necessarily what I'm the most passionate about making, but I could make something that is more universal that could
just to get
lead
success with it.
Yeah, you know what I mean? That could lead to things that I actually want to do, and it's like, well, what if I just like, you know what I mean?
So
you know
many artists do
that. You know what I mean? They want to make something for the masses, so then they can make something that they really like.
And honestly, it works a lot of the time.
I feel like that might be the route. So sometimes, because
sucks.
would you rather be like the underappreciated artist that no one knows all the time? You know what I mean?
And like doing work that you're passionate about but doesn't get anywhere.
You know what I mean?
Like, well, then what's the point?
Exactly.
You know?
So it's funny you say that about that song, because can I say something?
Yes.
So I love, I love like most of Kanye's discography. That song that you mentioned, so it's on So Appalled.
Yeah.
That is my favorite Kanye song of all time.
Really?
Of all time.
Of all time?
Yeah, even Kanye fan, like other Kanye.
Gossip. Is that song?
No.
Oh.
That's Monster. That's the one. No. The one
this
where
is ridiculous.
Yeah, that one. That's my favorite Kanye song.
Really?
Of all time. Other Kanye fans like told me, like, really? That's your favorite one? I love that song.
Why do you love it so much?
So for one, the song's 6 minutes, right? First off,
it feels it too.
No, some people will say that.
I think it feels it.
No, I love it. I love it that it is that long. I feel like the same goes for Runaway as well, which is 9 minutes. We need to talk about that, but basically,
that explains so much, because I was listening to it today, and when I was driving, I got.
You didn't skip the outro, did you?
No! Well, I did the third time because I was like, what is going on? But I got from one point, and by the song finished, I had gotten so far that I was like, surely I haven't listened to 4 songs this whole trip.
It's considered sacrilege skipping. You better not skip the Runaway outro.
Sacrilegious, that's so funny.
But like, yes, no, that song to me. So I love the production, like the beat, like the way it just goes off. Like you just feel like so immersed in like kind of.
But we're talking about So Appalled?
So Appalled, right? I love the beat on that. Like I think it's my favorite Kanye instrumental. And like I feel like it has everything you could want. Because there's so many people on it. So you have Kanye, you have Jay-Z, and you have Pusha T, and you have some other guy.
I don't even know who Pusha T is.
I love Pusha T. So Pusha T is one of my favorite artists, like from the new school sort of thing. But he's been around. He's been around since the 2000s. He's known for being like the best coke rapper. like
that is a title I never wish to claim.
No, he claims it. He claims it. Like there's a subgenre of rap where like all they talk about is like selling coke or whatever. Some people have done it, some people haven't. But I guess the point of the genre is just like coming up with new ways to say the same thing. But like they get really inventive with it, and no one does it better than him.
Wow.
Like
he's earned his title.
he's earned his title, and he also was the first rapper to like humiliate Drake on a public level as well. Yeah. So if I ever go that route, 2018.
Wow, that long ago.
He exposed Drake for wearing blackface and for being a deadbeat dad and hiding a kid.
Is that how everyone found out he's got a kid?
That's how everyone found out. Pusha T made this song that like is like, you are hiding a child. Yeah,
That's wild.
Yeah, wild.
I didn't know that's how that came out.
Yeah, that's how it came out.
How could you do that? Okay, that's a whole other episode. Drake is a whole other episode.
Drake and Kendrick.
I hate that guy.
Fuck that cunt.
He's an actual pedophile.
He's a pedo. Let that be known. Let that be known, and the proof is there.
Okay.
Anyway.
I'm going to say one thing about it, and then that's it. We're going to go back to Taylor and Kanye. As a grown man. What business do you have texting a 13-year-old girl?
Yeah.
What business? As a grown man?
What business do you have rubbing on a 16-year-old as a 27-year-old?
And what business do you have unfollowing Billie Eilish when she turns 18? What business do you have doing that?
What business do you have commenting on Billie Eilish's post before she turns 18? She's like, birthday tomorrow. And then, do you know what he commented? This is real.
What?
He's like, I've been waiting for this. And then like that emoji of like puffed out, like sweating.
That is disgusting. You're disgusting. What do you mean you've been waiting for this? You pedophile?
Yeah, bro.
That's so gross.
And that's just what we know as the public.
That's just what we know.
That's just what we know. And
that's just what we can see.
And there's more. There's more.
If he's that comfortable having that to the public, what's he got going?
Yeah, exactly.
Where we can't see.
Well, why is he dating 18-year-olds that he's known since they were 16?
Grooming.
Yeah.
Grooming. Disgusting. I hate that.
And we've all seen the other video as well that's going around. Him kissing a 17-year-old.
When he knew.
After learning her age.
Okay, you know what?
You know what he says? Do you know what he says after he learns her age?
What?
He says it in the video. Look at it. He says, you're going to send me to jail. I can't believe this. Oh, I mean, I just, why are you looking so thick? I love the way your breasts feel upon my body. And then he proceeds to kiss her.
That's disgusting.
Come on.
That is so bad.
Come on. Proof? What proof do you need?
That's proof.
Bro.
Right there.
And that's what we know.
He's so sick.
Gross.
Disgusting.
I hate him.
Despicable.
I have every valid reason to hate a cunt like that.
Yeah, everyone does. Yeah. I can't understand how he's still got fans.
There's people defending him.
How do you defend that?
How do you defend
that kind of?
Well, you know what makes. But just since we're on that topic, you know what that makes me realize? Because people knew about R. Kelly.
Oh yes.
People knew about R. Kelly for such a long time, for like 17 years before. No, not even. Longer. People knew, and it took like over 20 years for something to actually happen.
Do you know now why it is so hard for women to report things?
No.
The one thing that I hate hearing is when a woman comes out, disclosing something that has happened to her, and people go, "Oh, why did it take her so long to report it?" Why do you think, genius? Because nothing happens when you do. It took 20 years for anything to happen with R. Kelly. Drake's been doing this shit for God knows how long.
Well, since 2009.
Oh, God, that's forever. That's 15 years. And nothing has happened to Drake yet.
Yeah.
It's been 15 years. We all know, and nothing's happened. This is why women don't report stuff, because when we do, we don't get believed. Nothing happens. People judge us for the things that we have done. It's just preposterous.
Yeah.
It makes me so mad.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's get back to the music.
Let's get back to the music, but public service announcement.
Yeah, PSA, bro. Don't be listening to Drake anymore.
Yeah, well, if you do, say something.
If you're defending a pedophile,
no.
I'm going to leave it at that. What is it?
No.
All right, back to Taylor.
Back to Kanye, right? So, even Kanye disagrees, which is the bare minimum, but fucking
yeah, Kanye doesn't like Drake.
Kanye doesn't like Drake.
So something.
Yeah, Kanye's also never liked Drake. But every now and then he'll like backtrack and be like, "Oh no, I think he's really good." But then he'll flip between. But he's always hated him. He's always hated him. He's always been very clear. Like anything that anyway. So back to Kanye. I think Drake was actually meant to be on this album, but then Kanye removed him. Yeah.
Good. As he should.
Do you know what song he was meant to be on? All of the Lights. Yeah. And I think there's like a demo out there where like you hear what he recorded.
I'm so grateful he got scrapped from that.
Yeah. I'm glad.
I also don't like Drake's singing voice.
I
don't like it either.
I'm glad he has nothing to do with this album. So happy days.
Yeah, happy days.
But
indeed.
as far as So Appalled goes, right? So you got Kanye, you got Jay-Z, and you got Pusha T, and you have like someone from the Wu-Tang Clan like doing the ad-libs, right? And I feel like everyone on that song does like a 10 out of 10 job individually of what they do.
Well, I really like Jay-Z's verse.
Jay-Z's verse is my favorite. Yeah. Jay-Z's verse is my favorite.
Too.
It sucks saying that because it's on a Kanye, like that's my favorite Kanye song, but Jay-Z is my favorite.
I don't really like Jay-Z. Yeah. Like, I don't like his singing. I can't speak on his producing stuff because I probably like songs he's produced and not even known it. Yeah. I'm not a huge fan of his rapping, but I like him in that song.
How good was his verse on that song?
It got me thinking.
It's like Dark Knight feeling, die or be a hero, live long enough to see yourself become the villain.
Okay, I know that quote, but did he make that up?
No, so that's from The Dark Knight.
Oh,
the movie The Dark Knight.
Right, that's what I thought.
But like the whole, that verse, like
what I love about Jay-Z is so self-aware of what the public perception is of him. Wow. And he always like is so tongue in cheek with it. Yeah. Like he's like, yeah, they call me a camel. Like, he's like, yeah, I say that's because I'm an animal. Like, I move in the drought. Like, he's like,
I don't know.
Because, you know, everyone makes fun of his face.
Oh.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, you didn't know that? I thought you knew that. Yeah, everyone says, oh, Beyonce married this.
Well, yeah, I know that, but I didn't know they called him a camel.
Yeah, they call him a camel.
That's terrible. I would never go that far to say that. That's mean.
Yeah. But he moves in the drought.
What does that even mean, though?
It means that when there's nothing, he still makes money.
Oh.
Yeah.
Good for him. Oh.
Yeah. And then, but I love Kanye's verse on that song.
Yeah.
What do you think of the song Devil in a New Dress?
Okay, so I re-listened to it again today, and that one stood out to me, whereas the other times it hadn't. I can't really remember what stood out to me about it, but I remember going, because on my car, I have an old car. It doesn't say the full title. It just says Devil in the New. And I was like, what is it?
Yeah.
What's the last word? Because I remember thinking, oh, what's this one? Like, I hadn't really, it didn't stand out to me before, but tonight it did when I was driving. And I was like, I don't mind it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm very surprised at my feelings for this album.
Yeah. What did you think of Runaway, by the way, before we continue?
Oh, well, I had heard it before.
Right.
Because I don't know when.
It's quite popular.
Because when it came on, I was like, oh, I know this tune.
Yeah,
like, I knew it straight away. It's really sad. Yeah. It's like, it's when he says, I'm pretty sure this is a song, but when he says something like, talking about his girlfriend, and he's like, I'll blame you and do it really well or something. I don't know.
Yeah, it says something.
I was like, well, I don't like that, but it shows that there's something going on. Like, he's not okay.
I think what I like about Kanye, even to this day, and even though like, I don't agree with what he says most of the time, but what I do love about Kanye, especially even in his own music, I feel like as flawed as he is, I still feel like he's always at the very least honest. Mm-hmm. I feel like he's definitely got a warped perception of reality. Yeah. And, you know, we don't actually know how in tune this guy is with the surroundings around him and kind of
what's going on.
You know, what's actually going on and kind of what can be the impact of his words. Yeah. But I still always feel like the thing about him and the reason why he's always, if you really simplify it, the reason he's always been controversial is because he's always just spoken his mind. He's always been so
as two people who can never shut up and always speak our minds, I respect that.
There's something respectable about that, and that's
I think there is something respectable.
I think in an industry where you're told to be a certain way, or you have your platform stripped from you, and you have to push a certain agenda and a certain narrative. I think the industry doesn't like Kanye because they just can't control him. He's too crazy. But like, you know what I mean? You have to admit there's something humor. Admirable. There's something. Oh, he's hilarious. There's definitely a humor to it. Yeah, for sure. I like some of the Gaga songs. What the fuck does she know about cameras? That's my favorite Kanye meme. I love that video. That's so funny. Yeah, to a point, it's quite. You know what? Can I tell you what it's like being a Kanye fan? Yeah, it's like watching like an accident. It's terrible. It's like you just can't not watch it. You know what I mean? I would just look away. No, but it's like you can't. You know what I mean? And it's like you're watching that. That's hard. It is hard. I would just simply close my eyes. That's why there comes a point where, as hard as it is, it's like sometimes there has to be a separation. You know what? Actually, something you just said, I'm going to backtrack a little bit. Something you said about Kanye, I feel is not with Taylor, and it hurts me that it's not. When you said something like they can't, trying to push a narrative of whatever, right? And Kanye can't do that because you can't control him. I feel like Taylor, especially with the Tortured Poets Department that was just released, I feel like she's trying so hard to break free from a narrative that she's being forced to push. Right. I feel, and it's what I spoke about earlier. Right. And the Tortured Poets Department, for me and for a lot of people, really show that she's like at the edge where she's like, I can't do this anymore. Yeah. Well. Do you know how many times she talks about killing herself? Jeez. A lot. And in that album? In Folklore, Evermore, Midnights, and there's 4 albums in a row where she talks about killing herself. And it freaks me out because nobody's
too good for depression.
Yeah.
Nobody's too good for suicidal feelings. And I feel like she talks so much about being in a cage.
Yeah, I mean, look at Elvis, right?
Yeah.
Elvis was the biggest thing on the planet once upon a time. He wasn't even allowed to leave the country.
No. He wasn't allowed to leave like a city.
He wasn't allowed to do anything without being told what to do. And
I fear that Taylor, everyone thinks she's a billionaire, right? She can do whatever she wants. I don't think she can, because sometimes there are things that are stronger than money. And I believe that. I think fear is stronger than money. I think public image when you're that famous can be stronger than money. I think there is so much stuff that is binding her to this narrative that she's forced to push, and I don't think she wants to do it anymore. And it's causing her
Let me ask you a question. What do you think that narrative is?
Be the good girl who dates boys,
right,
and puts on a show like everyone wants,
right.
And I don't think that's what she wants.
Right.
I think if things had gone differently on her journey and things had happened the way she had planned years ago, she would be in a very different situation now.
Well,
she was supposed to come out in 2019.
Yeah.
And I think if she had been able to, she would be on a completely different trajectory.
Yeah, well.
She's at her highest peak she's ever been when you think of finances and fame.
Just popularity.
She's at a new level.
Oh, yeah. She's on a level
nobody else has touched. I can confidently say that. She's got the largest grossing tour in history.
I'm not denying that.
Yeah.
The person that does come to mind as far as like celebrities and that, like Michael Jackson.
I think she's bigger than Michael Jackson. I can confidently say that.
What stops me from completely agreeing is Michael Jackson did it in a time where there was no internet. And you have to understand that.
Yeah. That's true.
People like left their houses to buy albums back then. It was different. It was different. It wasn't, you know what I mean?
Look, we can never truly compare. We can't.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, I think she's put under so much pressure. And if you look at her lyrics and read them the way she wants you to read them, it's telling a very dark story.
Yeah, well.
And I fear. There are times where I actually do fear for her, because people, like she's saying to us, stop doing this, and people keep doing it. Like she literally has in one of her songs, all the pieces of me shattered as the crowd was chanting more. She just dropped a double album. People are saying, oh my God, when's the 12th album coming out?
Yeah.
When is she re-releasing Reputation?
She was like
32 songs or something, 31 songs.
Yeah.
And she's on a tour.
She's been busy. She's been re-recording.
And people are still wanting more.
Yeah.
And it's like she can... it's just it's scary. Because people will look at her and
you know
think,
what's very telling? The fact that, you know, there's such a demand for her and she's actually struggling
to keep up with it.
That actually is very telling of like how much she actually puts into her artistry.
Yeah.
Rather than some other artists who we've already mentioned who just like, it's like so manufactured and so like, just put this out. Yeah, just put this out. Yeah,
she's like cutting her heart open every night.
Yeah, exactly.
You
know what I mean?
For her fans. And it's just... It is a little concerning. It's saying that she's making great art. I'm here for it. It's great art. But it's like... I hope that she can break free. I mean, Kanye's done it in a way that I don't really agree with, but at least he's got that freedom.
Yeah, he did.
You know what I mean?
You know what he said?
But he's paid the price for the freedom.
You know what he said on his latest album? He was like, he's like $8 billion to burn off my chains.
Taylor would pay it. I know Taylor would pay it, but
I don't
it's
know
like
if she'd go about it the way Kanye.
I'm glad that she probably won't. But I hope that she can find the freedom that Kanye has. I think she's bound by a lot of things, and people don't see it.
That doesn't surprise me, to be honest, because when you think about the biggest artists in the world, it's crazy to think about, but a lot of them are owned by labels like The Weeknd, and you know,
Oh, what a sad way to end the episode.
No, it's not sad. It doesn't have to be sad. But basically, look, what did you think overall? How did you feel about this? Can we also like quickly tap into something?
Yeah.
So this album. So since we're on the subject of Taylor Swift, so Kanye at this point of his career, when the Taylor Swift incident happened, so this album came out.
Which incident? 2009 or 2016?
2009. Okay. So when he got on stage, took the mic out of her hands, whatever.
Arsehole.
What happened was he
he did that in 2009. This album came out in 2010, late 2010.
Yeah, that's what I was Googling before. I was like, when did this album come out?
But I always loved this album. I remember one time I actually did like extensive research on it. And a lot of the album, at least culturally, is actually... So he did that the year before, right? Kanye, when he did that, was what you could actually consider be cancelled. Like, that was like every celebrity turned on him, the media turned on him. Like as much as, you know, there's retrospect behind it now, maybe it wasn't so big. At the time, it was actually massive that he did that. Like, no one, like, people did not agree with it on such a large scale, like even just outside of music. Like, he was reprimanded. His personality was like super, like, just tarnished. And, you know, like South Park made fun of it.
Wow.
Yeah. Like he was, you could say he was cancelled back then.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't actually realize how bad it was in the time.
Did you see the video that you probably haven't, but someone's interviewing Taylor Swift right after it happened?
No, I've not seen that.
And they go, like, you can see she's heartbroken. And then they go, oh, like, would you have said that you were a Kanye fan before? And she was like, yeah. And then they're like, are you now? And she goes, I don't think so. And it's so sad. You could see her heart breaking.
Yeah.
If she says something like that.
Even other rappers were
yeah, you don't do that.
Yeah, you just don't do that.
You just do that.
You know what 50 Cent said?
What?
He's like, yeah, I would have liked to see him try that on me. Like that's
nice. I like everyone standing up for Taylor.
Yeah. So anyway, but it was on that level, and Kanye went into hiding for a whole year, right? Like, he was like dead silent, right? Anyway, super long story short, but he slowly started to, you know, the whispers of like, oh, he might be coming out with new music, and oh, look, he's recording in Hawaii or whatever, and he was flying specific people over, and there was like a set of rules that rappers had to abide by if they were in the studio with him, and they all had to dress in suits as well in the recording of the album.
Why?
They treated it like a job. Yeah, that was the reason.
Jeez.
So, but basically, like, the rollout started of this album, and then when this album did come out, like, this was like his like comeback to the world.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's a pretty good comeback.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's to the point where people went past it. And then briefly, I know it was briefly, but Taylor Swift and...
They were friends for a couple years there.
For a little bit.
Yeah.
It was a nice little grace period.
He sent her like this massive bouquet of flowers.
Yeah.
I miss her old Instagram.
Oh, she used to, she like, have you seen that video where she's like talking about Kanye on stage?
Kanye has the best album. Yeah.
He's like one of the greatest.
Oh yeah. One of the greatest careers or something.
Yeah, and then I remember, have you seen that video of like when he's performing on stage and like Taylor Swift is in like the crowd?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, that as well. So look,
they could have really had a friendship.
Do you think there's similarities between the two?
Yes, and obviously no.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But what do you think?
I think for both of them, there are a lot of people that want them to be something else.
Interesting.
That they fight against in their own ways.
Wow, interesting.
Yeah.
That's actually pretty crazy.
And I feel like they probably related about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's probably the biggest thing that I would find that they have in common.
Yeah. I think what they put into their art.
Yeah.
The amount of effort.
I think Taylor puts in more, but okay.
I mean, I don't think you can understate what Kanye has put in.
I don't think you can understand what Taylor
but yeah, I think I think there's a reason that they're kind of put on, or at least there was a time period where they'll put on very similar pedestals, just from two very different regions of society.
Yeah. If
you will. But yeah, anyway, I think this was a very great trade.
I think this was too.
What did you think overall of My Beautiful Dark, if there was like a final kind of statement on the album?
It surpassed my expectations. Yeah.
Nice.
It surpassed my expectations. I'd probably give it like a, I don't know.
Objective?
I don't rate albums. Like, I don't give them a numerical standing the way you do.
You give stars.
I could give a star or two. I don't know. Maybe like 3.5 out of 5. Out of 5?
Okay. So a 7.
Yeah. How is that not good?
It's good. It's better. You know what? I'll take it.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
For a Swiftie,
it's very good.
On.
I won't complain.
Yeah. I don't know. It's I think it was a really balanced trade.
Yeah.
Because I feel like what these two albums would do for you is what Taylor's two albums do for me.
Yeah, I think and just by swapping them, I think like our eyes have been opened a little bit to,
for sure.
You know what I mean? So in that
I
sense,
have less hate for Kanye.
I have mutual respect for Taylor and the fan base in the community.
Nice. Look at us putting that out into the universe. A Kanye fan and a Swiftie can be friends.
That being said, there are Kanye stans that I just do not like stand by.
Good.
Fuck him.
But I stand by every Swiftie. Actually, no, that's not true.
No,
I actually don't stand by every Swiftie. There are Swifties that I don't like.
Yeah. But anyway.
I'm not even going to... They don't even deserve a shout out.
This was a mega episode.
This is a mega bonus big episode.
Possibly the first of its kind. When has there ever been a time where a Swiftie and a Kanye fan have exchanged?
I don't think ever. We just made history.
We made history, right? So I just want to say massive thank you for tuning in this far.
If you got to this point, you're a real friend. You're a true friend.
Yeah.
We love you.
Yeah. So let us know your thoughts in the comments.
Also, if you listen to these 4 albums, which God, if you do, you are a real one. Tell us what your favorite songs from them are.
Yeah, exactly right.
I want to know.
So me too. So
oh, this was so fun.
Yeah, this was lit.
Yeah, this was a really good chat.
Massive thank you for tuning in.
Yep. Shout out to Hills Podcast Studio. Yep.
And don't forget to do follow on all of our socials.
A follow.
That is Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and Spotify.
Nice.
But no, thank you very much.
So much.
And we'll see you on the next one.
Catch you on the flip side, motherfucker.
See ya. Brr.
Bitch.